What's up and welcome back to the channel. You are listening to Ninja Night. This is Real Talk 15. I said last week that I'd be on Thursday night because I wouldn't be available on Friday, and I didn't want to leave people down, especially with what's going on here in the country. I want to keep people up to date with what's going on, and you know yourself as well, when I'm doing these streams, I will let you know if I'm on or if I'm not on. You know how it goes with me. This is something that I think is going to be a very interesting show, and it's actually a pity that we haven't got this on a Friday because I think that there'd be probably more people in here on a Friday. I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of people in here already. There's 30 people in here already, which I'm very impressed with, and I want to say thanks. It's just jumped to 52. Just as we said that. So anyway, when I say we, by the way, this is a big community. This is a community that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm seeing the last couple of videos doing very well. I'm seeing them doing very well in terms of numbers of views, numbers of likes. I have to be honest with you, the like numbers on them are outrageous. I mean, there's between 400 to 600 on the last couple of videos. There's over, I think, 1,200 videos or 1,200 likes on the Irish Hero Silence video. Unbelievable stuff. And I'm seeing other people as well too on YouTube covering what's going on there, in particular with the Irish Hero Silence. And I think a lot of people have dropped in after that video was put out, because that one, I think, again, they're liking to do interviews as well with the guy, the Brazilian fella. They're talking to him, no problem at all. But they don't want to know about Warren Donohoe. So why is that? Why do they not want to talk to him? Why is he not being heralded? Why is he not being pushed out there? It's very clear and obvious to see, in my humble opinion. People would say otherwise, you know, the likes of the media. But this week, we've seen some very interesting stuff. We have seen Helen McEntee survive a no confidence vote. Now, when she survives a no confidence vote, I was saying it during the week, particularly on Twitter. I'm over there at the _ Ninja Night. If you're not following me over there, make sure you follow me. Up over 2,000 followers now. Thank you very much. And I was saying it during the week, and I was saying, it's great that Sinn Féin are wasting time, in my humble opinion. Again, these are all my opinions. This is what they are, okay? These are my genuinely held opinions. And when I see a motion of no confidence go in about Helen McEntee, and I say to myself, okay, let's look at the political landscape of what's going on right now. You have Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil who are in total free fall at this moment. You've other parties that have been completely found out, like the likes of People Before Profit and Labour. You've Sinn Féin now, who are supposed to be the opposition, who are regularly being called out now for being anti-Irish and saying things. Now, I'm not saying that I'm saying that they're anti-Irish. What I'm saying is that an awful lot of people feel that way, because you've got members of their party, like Desi Ellis, for example, they're calling people racist when they hold an objection to people being shoved, particularly military-age males, being shoved into their communities unvetted, undocumented, and unlimited amounts of these guys being shoved into those places. So that's one problem you have. You also have, and I've seen, I think 2 or 3 people this week as well that were Shinners that were actually resigning from the party. I think was there a woman there that was in Cork, a Cork City Councillor, supposed to be a very popular person, and has gone, nah, I'm out. I'm actually resigning from the party, and I'm going to see me time out as an independent. So I'm looking at that and I'm going, and that's even a woman. And I'm like, well, times seem to be changing now, and it seems like people don't want to be attached to Sinn Féin. Now, I've said it beforehand, and I'll say it again. If you're inside Sinn Féin and you are a fella that has any sort of testosterone at all, you absolutely should be challenging for the leadership right now. That is the first thing that should be done. Anybody that has any sort of notions about Pierce Doherty, for example, and they like the cut of his jib and the way he talks, the fact he hasn't challenged the leadership after all of the clown world stuff that's gone on says it all. You have Sinn Féin that were more interested in what was going on in Cuba than they were when Irish people's freedoms, civil liberties, and their rights were taken away over the sniffles. You have Sinn Féin that are more interested now in posing as a left-wing party, because who knows what they are nowadays. They're like a chameleon, in my humble opinion. They are standing and walking with NGOs. You know as well too that the likes of Mary Lou McDonald's brother now thinks that he's a woman. You've got another allegation that's been made about Mary Lou, that her sister works in a big pharmaceutical company. Massive allegation there on that one. You've also got Owen O'Brien, who can't define what a woman is outside of the doll, which is very unusual. It's highly suspect, because why wouldn't you be able to do that, particularly when his missus is Lynn Boylan? Now, again, allegedly, speculatively on that one, because people will say, Lynn Boylan, not sure there. Wicked Witch of the West or human female? What's going on? So anyway, again, allegedly, speculatively, we love this sort of stuff here we do on this channel. So Sinn Féin, in my humble opinion, if I'm being honest, and giving my honest opinion, I don't think they want the reins. if I'm being honest. I think that vote worked out for them. I think the fact that Helen McEntee got backed by the establishment, that got backed by the apparatus, works out for them. Why is that? Well, you can already see the left-wing party starting to attack Sinn Féin now and saying they're going more right-leaning. They're going to be a right-wing party. In my humble opinion, these things don't happen for no reason. The apparatus now is going to have to try and work itself out. You've got media in free fall. People don't want anything to do with RTE anymore. They're getting lambasted on comments there on the likes of Facebook and on Twitter. I'm just telling you what's happening. This is what's happening, boots on the ground of what's going on here in Ireland, and particularly online, because what happens online inevitably moves its way into the real world, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. You've got RTE that are limiting comments now. You've got Elon Musk now that's waded into what's going on. You've got a justice minister that is totally inept at her job, that is failing completely, in my humble opinion, and in the opinion of many other people here in this country. And you've seen her now be backed by the establishment. You've seen then Sinn Féin try to look like they're going to save a little bit of face and go, oh yeah, no, we wanted to push this because we didn't have any confidence in her at all. But that didn't work out either. Sure it didn't. So we've got a number of problems here in this country. And not only do we have problems with the media, but we also have problems with the political parties, because the fact of the matter is they can't get a no confidence vote in a justice minister that's out to causing absolute chaos here in this country. They can't get that over the line. That's a failure of an opposition, in my humble opinion. They haven't gone and pleaded, I suppose might be the words, with other parties to look at the sinking ship that they're on and said to them, listen guys, you might as well get the rowboats now, because it's not going to be a nice election the next one that comes around. The other school of thought that I would have is this: none of these people seem anyway bothered by the fact that they backed Helen McEntee. Why is that? Why are these people not bothered? Like, if you're looking at it from that point of view, which I would, I mean, it's like, you know, I suppose I talk about football and stuff like that here a good bit. It's like a manager. If you know the manager is on the way out, you're not going to be backing him to the hilt. Like, if you're a manager at Manchester United, for example, and I only use them as an example, and the ship is sinking, the last thing you were doing as a player, as a top quality player, is coming out and going, yeah, no, the manager's doing great. You don't do that. It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what these people have done. They've gone, yeah, we're playing the violins here on the Titanic and the ship is sinking, but everything's fine. The violins are still playing here, guys. Let's not worry about that. Very strange moves. Now, what's an even more strange move is Pascal Donoghue, as I like to say. 125 people in here tonight. Welcome here tonight on a Thursday night. This is earlier than usual. I usually do these on a Friday, but said I'd do it earlier this week because I wouldn't be able to do it tomorrow, so just letting you know. So Pascal is out now, and he is actually taking responsibility. He's taking responsibility for all of the nonsense that's been going on a little while ago, and he's starting to take a bit of responsibility now when it comes to the sniffles. Now, I'm looking at that and I'm saying to myself, I wonder why he's doing that. Well, in my humble opinion, I think Pascal is on his way over to Europe. I think he's probably telling a few home truths before he goes so that he gets a bit of a backing, and he might cause a bit of a stir over there. Now, my opinion is this: career politicians that have been in politics for a very long time, particularly here in Ireland, and haven't done anything good for the people, I really think whatever they say makes no sense. And to be honest with you, it doesn't win me over at all. It never will, and it's never going to. And I think a lot of other people are starting to feel the same way. It's like, as I keep saying to people as well, it's like going out with somebody and that person keeps lying, they keep cheating, they keep stealing, they keep doing things wrong on you, and they keep saying, take me back, baby. You know what I mean? Quote name and Dunphy there, I suppose. Take me back. I didn't do it. But you were caught red-handed. And not only that, then you're going to do it again. Some of the context of what has happened in the last couple of weeks has totally and utterly blown up in the face of the government. Leo Varadkar has been spotted taking pictures with Tony Blair. It's a massive negative. You've got Eamon Ryan that's across at some nonsensical thing that he's talking about the climate, even though he's taking a plane to that. And then a very bizarre video came out of him yesterday where he's being questioned and he's rubbing the nose off himself and he's looking around. He is very suspect, very Zelensky-like, I thought. Allegedly, spectacularly. Then you've got Micheál Martin, who was totally just slinked away now, and he's more interested in what's going on over in the Middle East than he is here in our own country. So these people, in my humble opinion, have totally abandoned ship. They've totally gone AWOL, and now what they have done is they have left a debate, which is unbelievable to think of. There was a debate on immigration here in this country, and guess what? About 15 people of that, if even that, turned up to it. The Dáil rammed full it was for Joe Biden, who sniffs kids on camera, who sniffs the follicles off them. And not only that, then has massive allegations levelled against him, particularly by his own daughter. Dáil absolutely rammed for that guy. But what about immigration into Ireland that's causing big problems? I know about 10 people there, about 10, 15 people. I'm probably counting, even when I say 15, I'm not even counting politicians, I'm counting the fellas that hold open the doors there. It's an absolute disgrace. But that's how little the politicians think about you and think of you. They think nothing of you. So we're getting to a point in time where people have seen it, people are fed up, and people are rightfully now voicing their opinions. You'll see politicians again, they're the ultimate comedians, guys. They'd start to tell you what you want to hear. They're like snake charmers here. Oh, guys, yeah, no, like, you know, we do agree with you on the immigration. We were incorrect on it, but what we're going to do now is we're going to pivot on it, and we're going to see the information that we're getting in. Oh, that's right, yeah, crime has risen, it has, and very serious crimes have risen. And the people that are being housed in the likes of prisons, the number of foreign nationals that have been housed in those prisons have gone up. In the meantime, what has happened as well too is successive governments have been given citizenships to these people. So when they say Irish person, they've handed that person a citizenship, but they ain't from Ireland. They're from somewhere else. So this is how they circumvent all of that sort of stuff. When you want to go, well, hang on here, what's the prison population there of Africans, for example, or even Eastern Europeans and specific Eastern European countries? What's the specific prison population of those guys? And they go, oh, no, it's only just 15. But meanwhile, there's about 100 others there that are after getting citizenship that are claiming to be Irish, but they're actually from Lagos. Do you know what I'm saying? They're actually from Somalia, born and bred there, and coming over here causing mischief to get a citizenship. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolute clown world it is. It's absolutely unbelievable. But at least everybody's highlighting what's going on. Charmed Superiors in here. It says, keep up the grand work. Much respect from England. P.S. Let's all stand together in this insanity. What's very interesting, thanks very much. And what's interesting there is you've got people from England. it's just crazy. I think I said this last week. I was just like, you've got English people that are coming in here. Now, this offends the left something terrible. They can't get their heads around this one. People in Britain are supporting people in Ireland, and people can't understand that. Now, you've got the left out there that are supporting the likes of the rainbow stuff in June, and then they'll also then support the likes of, for example, the Religion of Peace, who don't seem to be the biggest fans of the people in June. I don't know about you, but that's a conflict of interest and certainly conflicting ideologies in my absolute humble opinion. So you've now got a system where these people are going, yeah, no, we don't agree with these people. The thing with the British is, and this is something I just want to explain, the British are supporting us because they're in the same boat as us. They forgot about history. Listen, they don't, an awful lot of them, not to say all of them, but some of them don't know anything about history. They don't know what has happened between us and them, okay? And they're just seeing things as it is. Not to give them an out here or anything like that at all, because I think they should know, but they don't. An awful lot of them. But they're saying the same thing that's happening to us. They're saying unvetted, unlimited immigration into their country, which is causing massive problems for people to be able to buy houses. It's causing crime rates to skyrocket. It's causing the health system to be on its knees and for less spaces to be open for people. For example, the likes of in doctors' offices and in the dentist offices also as well too. I suppose you could even say practices there. And indeed the hospitals themselves. People are being pushed back further in the queue. So the British are looking at that. They've seen that. They've dealt with this now for a very long time. And they're seeing us start to realise, hang on here, guys, the exact same is happening to us here. And they're going, yeah, no, we saw that too. The left, on the other hand, are like, oh, we can't believe you're talking to British people. How un-Irish of you. Well, you're the same people that are welcoming people in from the Middle East there that have a totally conflicting culture to ours and that don't want to assimilate amongst other people that are coming to this country and have no interest in assimilating. And I'm not just talking from people from the Middle East. I'm talking about people from various parts of the world, whether it be Eastern Europe or whether it be the continent of Africa. They have no interest in assimilating. They want to just be living in a pocket on their own and have their own sort of cultures, traditions, and history from wherever they came from and stick it here then and say, no, you have to deal with it. This is what you're dealing with. And that's what Britain has dealt with for the last while. And they're just going, no, we've noticed that too. And fair play to you Irish there for noticing that also. Don't forget as well too, when they had all of this stopping the boats and all that sort of stuff from Britain, a lot of these people passed into Britain, particularly from the likes of Albania, because there was TikToks of these guys up there. TikTok is a social media company for anyone that doesn't know. These guys were actually posting. They were in London. They were like, we're on to Ireland now. And then you see videos that's been put out there by Toby there and Gavin Pepper and various others that are out there, Mick O'Keefe, for example. And Toby there today put out a video. I think it was Toby. It was either him or Mick O'Keefe. It's either one or the other. And they share an awful lot of information. And they were showing a dole queue outside of an office in Finglas. And it was absolutely rammed full of people that are not from Ireland. Now, I know there's people that'll be out there and they go, but hang on, Ninja, these people are actually from Ireland. They have gotten citizenship or they were born here. I disagree. I totally disagree. If I was to float over to Japan, I wouldn't suddenly become Japanese. Okay, I know the name. You might say otherwise. You might say, "Well, you think you're an ninja. You think you're a knight. Like, what's the story with that?" Someone that be in here as well too that likes to hate on the show. I don't mind. Thanks for the view. Much appreciated on that one. It's keeping things going. But I wouldn't rock over to Japan and go, "No, I'm suddenly Japanese. I'm as Japanese as you are." I certainly wouldn't have a next generation of two people that are from Ireland and go, "No, there's Japanese as the Japanese people here." You would be laughed out of the place, and rightfully so. But this is what we have here. The Hazel Chews of the world coming over to this country. Her parents there from Hong Kong. And then she's born here then. Can barely speak legible English, I suppose. People would say, it's not legible, Ninja. It's understandable. Can barely speak understandable English. And she's out there telling you, as an Irish person, how to behave. Listen, I think you should be bounced back off to Hong Kong. I think you should be deported ASAP. But I think the angle to come at is to go and take the seat politically of Patrick Costello, which is her husband. An awful lot of people don't know. These people have different names so as to keep you confused and to not let you put two and two together unless you look into things. Very interesting times that we live in right now. So I'll get through the chat and say hello to a couple of people here. End of the line, Joel says Holly Cairns is a disgrace. Yeah, that's a person from the Social Democrats that doesn't want to have a debate. The Social Democrats, by the way, have had an absolute nightmare. The fact that they posted out a fella who thinks he's a Doubtfire. Anyone that's new to the show, by the way, you'll hear all these words. You'll hear Voldemort, you'll hear Doubtfire and all that, and you'll be looking and you're going, what's the story with that? Someone in the chat or maybe afterwards, someone will let you know what they all mean. Yeah, I'm sure you'll figure it out anyway. But they've now put out a Doubtfire. These people haven't even addressed really the Owen Hanley situation. Has anybody got any follow-up to that? Have the guards investigated that at all? Have they investigated Councillor Owen Hanley? He was accused of some very serious stuff. But it doesn't seem like they've investigated that at all. Or maybe they have. Why have they kept it quiet? What's the story with that? How come people that are particularly interested in and I will say this, when you have criminals in prisons that have to be separated from specific people, specific offenders, because the criminal understands a moral code and understands principles, you have a very backward society, especially when these people are being let walk free around the place. Unbelievable stuff. So yeah, Holly Cairns, no surprise there as well too. She's little ET looking head in her. She's running around there now spouting all sorts of nonsense. They're another party that need to be washed in terms of the next election. They need to be just gone. Gary Gannon, another one. He's been found out as well too in his local area. So I'd be surprised if anybody in that area votes for him again. End of the line, Joel says the government is having the wrong referendum. It should be about stopping confetti citizenship. The thing is, though, as well, and specifically when they're talking about referendums, I don't believe them when they're going for those. I don't think, especially with the way they're sort of angling at the minute. I saw a comment from Leo Varadkar, which was kind of like, we'll see how it goes. And I was like, there's no such thing. That's my opinion. Because these people have won referendums that are just totally against the grain. And you're looking at it and you're going, I don't think that happens the way they said it did. And not only that, then you see what happens in America, you see what happened in France, and you just look at what happens here and you go, I don't think that sounds good. Air Force says, Ninja, you are the truth. Thank you very much. Sivna San says, hey, Ninja, you there? Yeah, I was just on the way I was. Streaky Bacon says, I thought ninjas were meant to be quick. People are saying I thought it was on Friday. Must have served up the wrong day. Irish Red says, Ninja Night was the bus packed. Mick O'Sullivan's in here, says, how are y'all? Toby's in here, says, hello, everyone. By the way, that's Toby, that's on Twitter. Does an excellent job. He does over there. Wayne Bork's in there, says, how are you, Ninja? Keep up the great work. Thanks very much. Tank Inc. says, proper 12. Political class or so arrogant, says, end of the line, Joel. Absolutely 100%. Esther McDonald says, I send you out to the public in UK. Much appreciated. Tony G says, evening, Ninja. Big up, Warren. Karen Bourne says, 2 weeks. 2 weeks today. 2 weeks today, very little updates as to what's going on. They're telling you that the Brazilian fella is happy to collect, the €358,000 that's been given to him. Now, here's the thing. When I'm laughing because people now are starting to go, how many NGOs donated to that? And I'm like, wow, like this is the point in time that we're at right now where people are actually asking the right questions and they're starting to go, well, what's happening here? And then especially then, why is Warren not being talked about? Every article that I've seen that has been done by the mainstream media has had a comment underneath it that has gotten hundreds of likes, whether it be Mick O'Keefe, whether it be Toby, whether it be someone else, has gotten hundreds of likes, ratioed mainstream media with posting pictures of Warren and going, why aren't you talking about him? Why is there no interview with him? What's going on with him? Why is he not getting the support? Because the narrative broke down, it did, for these people within 72 hours. What was the narrative that they wanted to shift towards now? Guys, it's very nasty that she's burnt down cars and buses, and do you condone that sort of stuff? And what happened to the guards? Do you know that a guard has lost a toe? Are you the same media companies that was saying that that was a summer of love in America? Millions worth of damage, multiple homicides. You said that that was mostly peaceful. You're the same people. And yet you're going on about this. And I would have serious question marks about what went on that evening. I mean, you look at some of the videos that are out there, you see the likes of people that are not from this country doing some looting. They were plastered all over the internet. There was a guy there that they were talking about was far right. His name was Al Double Wabab, whatever it was. Anyway, this dude was there and they're going, oh, that's how they're lumping in with the far right. They're lumping in this guy. That's a bad look, guys. Because guess what? Everyone's looking at that going, that guy ain't anyway sort of politically aligned or anybody on this side of the fence. We have some hilarious stuff to go through here tonight. Helen McEntee is done, lads. She is finished. I know people would say, well, she survived the confidence vote. But what's happening is now her confidence in herself has been stripped away week by week. But what we'll go back to, which is most important, is it's been 2 weeks now. Where's the updates? What's going on? Who's involved in this situation? Can we get any sort of information whatsoever? The fact that the media aren't too interested in talking about what went on 2 weeks ago to those poor innocent children is a massive problem. Now, there are a couple of people that are out there. People will know who I'm talking about. And they are now questioning the event itself. And look, my belief is, I think you should question everything. But there are people that are out there now that are saying that the event was staged. They're saying that the event never happened. I'm not saying that that happened. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. But I think the lack of media coverage from there, I think some people will jump on that and say, well, that event never happened. I don't think that that's the case. I think that it did happen, and I think there's probably some bad news that the government are thinking, shit, we're going to have to stretch this one out as long as possible so that we don't get any sort of blowback towards this. Because that was blowback within a couple of hours what happened on the evening. Now, again, what they've decided to do, the mainstream media have decided to name 5 people: Philip Dwyer, Gavin Pepper, Mick O'Keefe, and who else was it? Was it the Irish Git that was named in it as well? Of the ringleaders of what went on Thursday evening when there was a riot. Those guys were all actively going, lads, don't be doing any messing. Don't do anything wrong here. Stop what you're doing. They're actually on stream saying all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? They all didn't condone it either. So the fact that the media have turned their attention towards that is a big faux pas as well, in my view, because all that does is that just promotes the guys and people go, who's that over there? I haven't heard him before. What's he about? He wants to strengthen the immigration into this country. He's not happy with all the criminality. I'll vote for him. That's what that's going to do, because that's what it'd make me do. If I was a total Joan Army right now and I was unhappy with the current system and I saw them saying Gavin Pepper is anti-immigration, I'd go, okay, that sounds like I'd give a vote to him anyway, because I think he's right. I think there's a big problem. People are struggling to buy houses. We're going to talk about that here tonight. 6 figures people have to make up for a house to do. It's unbelievable. This is in Dublin. And that's a direct result of immigration. Now, Adon O'Riordan, who's affectionately known online now as Amadon O'Riordan, is saying there's no link between immigration. Have you heard that guy talk? Have you heard him talk? He's like Jonathan Ross. There's no link between immigration and what's happening. The far white are not in the white now in this one. And you're looking at him going, who was voting for that fella? Who? So we'll wait and see. We'll see what happens. Enderline Joe says, Ninja Knight, RT don't like citizen journalists except when they are using their video footage. Gas that one, isn't it? Absolutely. Let's keep going now and see what's happening in the chat before we jump in. A lot of people in here this evening. Val Malone's in here as well too. How we are Mike, people are saying here in the chat. Let's keep going. We've got Mike that says, hi NK, hi all, good to see you here. Air the Force in here as well too. Fergus Powers in here, the great Fergus Powers in here says, Ninja Knight, good evening, you beautiful patriots, hope you're all well. There is a vigil for Enoch Bourke outside Mountjoy tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. If anyone can make it, you're more than welcome. God bless. Fair play to you, Ferg. Fair play to you indeed. That's why I wanted to highlight that in that Elon Musk video about what's going on with Elon Musk, and in particular then what's happening with Enoch Bourke, because, did I say Enoch? Musk, did I? I didn't. I don't think so. I said Elon Musk, didn't I? Yeah, it's all the names. You know yourself. Anyway, we're going at light speed here now at the moment. This is a much faster show than what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, anyway, because I'm back to full fitness. So Enoch Burke, what's happening with him is still in jail. Leftists are out there celebrating the fact that he might be in there over Christmas, ultimately over disobeying a court order. It's absolutely ludicrous stuff. Meanwhile, you've got people running around the streets of Ireland that have done wholly negative things, actual negative things. I had this conversation with someone recently, and of course, as well, to a woman that has bought into the stuff over the last couple of years. And I said it's absolutely disgraceful. They were talking about the incident that had happened recently where there was some gang-related, allegedly, stuff that happened here in Ireland. And I said, isn't it crazy to think there's people walking around the streets that get up to no good, not specifically about gangs, but I'm saying people that get up to no good, particularly about, attacking kids, for example. Yet Enoch Burke is sitting in prison. And the first thing that this NPC did was, well, he shouldn't have done what he did. And I'm going, did you just hear what you said? Did you just hear what you said? You said that man disagreed. He had a verbal. Noises came out of his face towards someone else. And you think that he deserves to be in prison over someone else that has done something that is irreparable damage towards someone, physically. And they're just looking at you. And the NPC wheel is gone. And the eyes are blank. And there's lights on, but no one's home. Unbelievable stuff. But there's less people that think like that. We will say that now. Over the last while, there are less people that think like that. By the way, in the comments, if you're at Ninja Night, then I shall get through to the comment later on. Hopefully. It's because I'm not making any promises here. Von Malone says, Ninja Night, we're glad you made this decision. Thanks very much. A lot of people in here tonight. 183. Crazy amount of people in here tonight on a Thursday. Arnold the Saxon says, there's a revolution coming. The people are on the streets. No longer will be slaves. We're stored them from their sleep. There's a hunger in our eyes. The troops are on their feet. Rose Waters is in here, says, good evening from Carlingford. Forgot you were on tonight. I had said it last week, but I said I'll be in here now this evening. So welcome in here from Carlingford. So we got Dice says, Ninja Night, populism is on the rise, and I love it for sure. And I think there's no more of a populist individual now than Conor McGregor. Now, I know that there's people out there that'll go, well, I disagree with him. I don't agree with him. I don't like him. I have me issues with him. He's done this, he's done that, and all like that. Put that aside for the time being. He's saying the right things. And this is the thing that I heard as well too. I heard it from Satirical Soldier. Satirical Soldier had it up, he did. And he says, as long as these people are saying the things that I want them to say, I'll back them. And I'm like, well, that makes an awful lot of sense. And I like the way he framed that he did. I like that because that is something that I think is actually very agreeable. Because as long as he's saying the right thing, agreed with what he's saying. Particularly because of the following. When you have someone with 10 million followers, what is it, 10.4 million followers? When you have someone with that big of a followership, I'm happy with it. I know it's a positive because Salty Cracker is talking about it. I know it's a positive because Stephen Crowder's talking about it. I know it's a positive because Steve Bannon's talking about it. And meanwhile, you might say, oh, that's not good, Ninja, and these people are just talking heads and like that. And I get that, and I hear that opinion as well. However, they are talking about it. This little island that has been let run into ruin over years has finally gotten a spotlight on it, and it has shown everybody what's going on here. And not only that, you can link it in with things that have happened across the world, and you can see various similarities between Ireland and America. I get that people don't like Conor McGregor. I understand that. Me personally, I'd support him in a bid for presidency, purely on the basis, particularly because you have potential people running for it who are Jerry Adams. Have a look into his brother Liam Adams, by the way, if you're not familiar with that. Have a look into that. See what you think. Enda Kenny and Bertie Ahern. Now, I don't know about you, but out of the four people there, including Conor McGregor, I would absolutely vote for Conor McGregor 7 days a week. No problem. Without any sort of issue at all. Because you've got two guys there in Bertie and Enda who have wrecked the country, who have done irreparable damage to the country, in my opinion. You've got Jerry Adams as well too, who, again, an awful lot of people up north don't particularly like him now. And you've got the Liam Adams situation. And then you see how woke Sinn Féin have gone. And then he's part and parcel still somewhat in that wokeism. So no, I'm not interested in any of these three guys that are career politicians that have, to my opinion and in my eyes, done nothing. I'd rather give a go to someone that seems like he's genuinely interested, is saying what he's saying, and to me, I think would lead good ways forward. I mean, look, people would say, well, a presidential role is really nothing, and they are just basically someone that's hanging around. I'd sooner have him there than the likes of Michael D. Higgins, an absolute waster. This is a guy that's a champagne socialist, a fella that signed in draconian laws here into this country to take away your freedoms, your rights and civil liberties. And then the same sham is running around talking about freedoms in other countries. Get the fuck out of here. I tell you what, Michael D. Higgins, you can get an Elon Musk, you can. That's what you can get, okay? Go fuck yourself. How about that? That's what you can do. And so can all of these career politicians as well too, that have done wrong to us constantly and consistently. Take an Elon Musk.
Go fuck yourself.
Here you go.
But go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
That's what you can have there. Okay? Political establishment. That's what you get there. GFY. So anyway, let's move on into the show. We'll show you what's going on here in this country and clown world. We have won. Okay? They're finished. They're utterly finished, because wait until you see the video that's coming out now. I hope Grip don't mind me showing this video. If you still, lads, that's it now. We're over. We're finished. I'm not supporting you. Leave the video alone, lads, because they have put out some of the images and indeed videos from a conversation that was had today between Senator Sharon Keoghan and Helen McEntee. And lads, she's finished. She's done. Now, I know people will say, well, hang on, Ninja, she still retains her seat and all that. There's no getting away from comments like this. Okay, because that's the Justice Minister, right? Who, and I'm just going to preface this. I think that's the best thing I can do. I can preface this by saying, you have someone that's a Justice Minister that would be briefed. These people have, like Eamon Ryan, just so, I know this seems like scatty and stuff like that as well too, but this is the thing. I'm talking without a script, unlike any of the others. I'm talking here and I'm saying, the likes of Eamon Ryan has eight aides. Okay, now people would say, is that the stuff that Leo Varadkar's been talking about? He wants to put a monument up. No, not that one. Anyway, you know yourself there. So you've got Eamon Ryan, and he has in and around 8 aides that are getting an awful lot of money to be aides for him. Okay, people will be making jokes in the comments now after the fact. Surely Helen McEntee has, if not 1, 2, maybe 3, 4. I would assume that she probably has more than 8. I would say that she has 8. But I'd say she could have more, given the title of what she does. How have none of those people sat her down and said to her, right, Helen, if you're asked a question like this, this is what we're going with. Instead, these people are winging it as they're going along. This has got the hallmarks of just winging it as you go along. Because if you were out there and you were talking in the media, and they've been talking in the media for the past, year, calling people far right, talking about the far right. Now, I think that the breakdown that I gave in the video the other day, I think really kind of nailed it. If I'm being a bit, egotistical on that one. They are looking to attach a negative connotation to the word right. That's what they are looking to do. So when the inevitable happens, whether it be a right-wing media, whether it be a right-wing party or politician, and people say, well, I don't pick sides. You misunderstand the whole situation. You are picking sides. And sides inevitably are going to be picked. There were sides that were picked back in 1916, whether you were against the British Empire or whether you were with the British Empire, or whether you were just in the middle. And people that were in the middle then, they just happened to exist. And there will be that. But the people on the side of fighting for Ireland, to my knowledge, anyway, got what they wanted for the most part. But isn't it an awful shame that within 100 years we've turned it over to people the likes of Leo Varadkar, Hazel Chew, Micheál Martin, and various other clowns? But if you're Helen McEntee, how have you not been given a definite definition that sounds really good, a really good soundbite for you? Now, I know some of these clowns probably listen into some of these shows and some of these videos and all that, and they'll pick up things from here, because there's 1 or 2 things that I've seen this week, and I went, that actually almost seems like they're listening to what I'm saying, because it was like nearly word for word. I was like, well, that's interesting that they're going that sort of way about things. Now, I'm not saying they are. I think generally an awful lot of people feel and think the same way. I'm just giving a voice to something that I'm thinking of. So, How do you not have so many people that sit you down and go, okay, Helen, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to say in case this comes up. But this is actually what she said. So when she was asked for a definition of the term far right by Senator Sharon Keoghan, the minister said it was a political ideology and that she considered it to include people who see themselves as, now, this is going to be groundbreaking stuff here, guys, right? Anti-government. What's the problem? What's the issue with that? What's the issue? That's not groundbreaking. There's people that have been anti-government for years, for decades, and haven't liked the governments. They weren't called far right 10 years ago. They weren't called far right 20 years ago. They weren't called far right 30 years ago. You just had a different point of view. Anti-state. Okay? Well, you tell me, what has the state done for the people? Why wouldn't people look at the state and say, I'm not so sure about that? Because when you look at the state, you look at the judicial system, you look at the politicians, you look at career politicians, you look at what they do, you look at the media, and you go, why wouldn't people be untrustworthy of the state? Or why would the state, I should say, be untrustworthy? Why do you think, have you sat and reflected as to why people might feel that way about the state? Why would they be anti-state? Then they go into anti-immigration. Maybe they're pro-Irish, maybe they're not anti-immigration. But let's just take them up on that. If they are anti-immigration. Why are they anti-immigration? Well, it's because people that are in their 50s, in their 40s, maybe even 60s, they're looking at their kids and they're looking at them and they're going, we were able to buy a house for 20,000 and here's Johnny here now, and Johnny has to pay 400,000 for a 3-bedroom in Clondalkin. Sure, that doesn't make any sense. And Johnny is now weighed down by a mortgage, and that's causing big problems. Now, not only that then, but if Johnny doesn't want to live with someone else, if he doesn't want to live with a woman, if he wants to be a bachelor, people used to be bachelors years ago, he can't do that. So he has to either try and rent an apartment, which means that the rent is just going to keep going up and up and up, or he has to now try and find someone that he doesn't really know how it's going to go and has to settle with that. There's loads of dudes that are out there, by the way, that are happy to settle. And they are settling. I know guys that are doing that, and I'm like, you're taking a big financial risk there. But anyway, when it comes to anti-immigration, people are looking and they're saying to themselves, hang on here for a sec, how come I'm paying taxes out of the wazoo? And yet I'm seeing Kalechi, I'm seeing Pambor here come in from various places across the world, rock into the country, they're standing on a line there on, was it a Tuesday, collecting a few bob, and they're going out into a house then that's been paid for by the state. That's been paid for due to people handing over money in taxes. So you got to look at that and say, why would people be anti-immigration? There's numerous reasons why people would be that way, especially in a small country like this. Your culture, your history, your tradition is being washed out. You're not seeing your own people. This is the thing. People are walking around areas and they're feeling like strangers in their own countries. And then you've also then got the housing issue. People want to say, the housing issue isn't linked to immigration. Absolutely it is. The fact of the matter is, if you have more people in here, you create supply and demand. These people know all this, by the way. This is why they do it. They're all buddies with these people in these highfalutin places and all that. They all know this. They all know that, and they know that people now have started to wise up to that. When you go to a house viewing, you have seen countless videos that have been done and have been posted out there where people are going to house viewings and there's 200 people standing outside the house and loads of them are from Ireland. Now, that means that house price, by the way, is going to go up and up and up and up, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get that. That's why people are bothered with that. The same applies to the likes of hospitals, the same applies to doctors' practices, and it also applies then as well to the practices of dentists and various other services that are out there. You have to stand a little bit longer in the queue in a supermarket now than you would have done beforehand. And that's not to say, and I keep saying this, and people that they want to just label as anti-immigration, I've said it plenty of times before and I'll say it again. I have no problem with someone coming to this country that has a particular set of skills, turn into Liam Neeson here, a particular set of skills for Ireland. If you're a neuroscientist, or if you are someone that holds a position or holds some sort of knowledge and education that we simply do not have, well, then I think that a strict vetting system is the best thing to do, and that person then comes in and helps out with what's going on here. We do not need people that are just run-of-the-mill security guards coming in from various different countries. We don't need that. We don't need them running around as Gardaí either. And the Gardaí are starting to realise now, by the way, if they haven't already, loads of them have, and that's why you're seeing them resign. They're looking and they're going, my wages aren't great. Well, guess what, guys? When they start putting fellas in from the likes of direct provision centres and other KIPs, those fellas are going to be just happy to be getting a couple of quid. So that's going to inevitably bring your wages down then, because any deals are at that are there, there's just too many of them then to outweigh you who's going, oh, I don't like this. You're done. So the immigration problem is very complex. Well, not really. I think it's actually quite simplistic. These people like to make it out what it is, but I think it's quite simplistic. I think right now that is the key to all of the problems that are happening here in this country. And then added to the fact then that an awful lot of politicians and the judicial system and the media as well too seem to be siding with people that are not from our country over our own people. You have Micheál Martin standing up in the Dáil, and I'm paraphrasing here, talking about Ireland not being a sovereign nation, a backwards way of looking, and yet he's out there shilling then for the Middle East, and he's shilling there for the blue and yellow flag waving country. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. And anti-women's rights, you know my opinion on those things as well too. Like, I keep highlighting the fact, and I think it's interesting when she says that anti-women's rights. She's the Justice Minister. She's overseeing a huge uptick in crime. She has been interested in censorship. She has been interested in authoritarianism. And to be quite honest with you, anytime any of these lefty women are given power, they go do lally with it. They do ridiculous things. So when you look at that, you have to really reflect on that and go, well, this is a nation now that's left the door open for this sort of stuff here. Feminism has just turned into something that is completely unrelated to anything logical. And people go, well, yeah, okay. Well, what's going on in the likes of Saudi Arabia? How do they handle things over there? Very little crime there, isn't there? What about Dubai? Same as well too there. Wonder what the common denominator is there. What about Russia? How's things going on over there? Strong family unit. They're promoting the family. Okay, right. What about here? What are we doing? Yeah, no, we're telling you that we're going to take women out of the home. Oh, okay. And we're going to change the constitution for that. We're going to have a referendum on that. But you can tell what a woman is now, but you couldn't tell what a woman was 15 weeks ago. That's strange. So anyway, these people are just juggling, and I should even say, they're just spinning multiple plates. And the plates are starting to crash down. They can't handle it. And they're just smashing all over the place. And they're going, let's just call them anti-woman. If you want to talk about anti-women, and this is a point I'm going to make here, because this is ultimately a point as well too, that the man that you see down here, Tyrigal Soldier, makes all the time. You are bringing people in from the Middle East, from various countries that follow the religion of peace, for example. You're bringing them in from the Middle East that follow the religion of peace. That's not bad. That's not bad, right? Kind of talking about like what Conor McGregor was talking during the week. You were talking about bringing people in from areas that do not value women at all. You're also talking about, for example, Joseph Puskas that have been brought into this country now. He was actually spoken about recently, that he was smirking and smiling in court when the what shall I say and how shall I say, the nature of what happened to Aisling Murphy was read out. This dude was sitting there smirking and smiling. The media would be overrun with articles about that, but they haven't spoken about that much at all. Strange that, isn't it? Sam McConkey was on radio when that all happened to Aisling Murphy, talking about Irish men being given licenses to be able to get out. This little weak, feeble little fool is out there telling people, oh yeah, you should have a license to get out. Get up out of that. So when you're talking about anti-women's rights, you have seen nothing yet. You've seen nothing. Because I'm telling you, these guys with the religion of peace, Mike here, he served over in Lebanon, for example, he'll tell you all about them. So she's saying things there that don't make any sense whatsoever. So let's see what the video did for us here. And what it did for us here was, it just showed you how inept Helen McEntee is. You can pull the hair back and try and look official as much as you can, but ultimately when it comes down to you, you're an idiot. And this is the thing. You got to keep realizing that we have, as politicians, ugly actors, in my humble opinion. You see the good-looking people, well, what used to be good-looking people in Hollywood, and now you just see these people you wouldn't even pick on a five-a-side that are out there now in politics spouting nonsense. This person has no clue about what she's talking about. Let's have a look.
Could you give me a definition of...
By the way, Grips, don't mess around with this now, all right? Right, I'm just giving you a bit of promo here. Come on now, all right?
Give me a definition of what you consider is the far right. In terms of a definition of the... It's obviously a political ideology, or it's a particular view that a person has, like hate.
Whoa, I'm not sure there's a definition. So this is it. This is what the left do, by the way. The left like to change words. This is their plan. Sorry, quick swig there. Just to be clear about things, I put out a tweet there during the week, and I said the likes of the words racist, bigot, bad guys from Germany from 1930s, and I forgot the word fascist. Okay, unfortunately, I did leave that one out. They've all lost meaning because the left have overused those words, and now they mean nothing anymore, which is actually a great shame because those words used to mean something, but now they mean nothing. But we've gone down the list of insults, and far right is the one that they've landed on, and I think that was a massive faux pas. Whichever little think tank was out there that sat down and thought to themselves, a group of 10 soy boys and fellas that think they're women and women that look like dudes, whoever sat down and talked to each other and spoke to each other and said, guys, I think we have the ultimate one here. I think we call them far right. And someone went, Fintan, that's an absolute... Oh, no, excuse me, you refer to yourself as Fiona now? That's absolutely fine. Fiona, I am sorry for misgendering you. That is an absolutely great idea. Did you see what she, her said there? Wonderful stuff. This is it now. This is a devastating blow for them. And people looked at him and went, far right? What does that mean? And not only that, who cares? Who cares? And the people mocked it. Like some Nick O'Keefe as well too was up there going like that far right, proud of it. He was saying, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, paraphrasing there now. Let's respect me on that one. He'd say, no, I didn't say that. And that's fine. Okay, I'm just joking when I say that. But there's loads of people that are out there. Like, for example, you've got the far right mammy, the action figure. Did you see that one? You've got that floating about, far right mammy for sale, where she's pushing the buggy and she has the Irish flag. They've been mocked so much about that now that they're like, oh, we need to step away from this one now. So what do we do next? Well, fascist doesn't work out for you anymore because the word fascist, these people, by the way, on the left can't define it. So people like us just go, were you for the likes of forcing masks onto people? Yeah, you were. All right. You were for the Voldemort passports to get into the likes of cinemas, gyms, restaurants. You were? Oh, okay. Pubs as well. Yeah, you were. Okay. You were up for snitching on people as well too, snitching on your neighbours. There's a gathering of 14 in the house next door. That's actually more than 2 households. You were that person. You were the fascist. It's as simple as that. You were the fascist. So there you go. So they can't use that word anymore. They're like, oh. And then you're going, well, any of the other ones that you like to run through as well too, whether it be bigger or whatever like that, go ahead like that. A bigot is really just a person with a very staunch point of view that you're not going to change. It means nothing. It means nothing anymore. So she's caught rapper here now. This is it now, lads. She is done. She is tapping out. I think that this woman maybe thought that after the other day, the no confidence, I'm sure she was sitting there, and I'm sure there was a part of her, and people will say, Ninja Knight, you're an absolute loon. There's no way that this happened. I'm sure there had to have been a part of her that sat there going, I hope they don't vote in confidence of me. There had to have been. She had to have been sitting there with the likes of Drew Harris there and looking around and going, this is really bad. I'm really stressed. I'm losing weight like there's no tomorrow here. I'm looking gaunt. I'm aging 10 years here in front of everybody. I can't keep this up. And I'm sure when it came back, I say she was like, shit. Now, someone will say, well, it's all part of the plan, Ninja. And I'm sure, again, it probably is. But it's going to come to a point in time now where this woman's going to get stressed out. And there's a lot of people talking about her dad. And I'm like, well, you know, very interesting times.
Particular view that a person has. I'm not sure there is a definition. It's not.
It's a little bit like... And your government and your media have been slinging that out at people, and you don't know what it means. This is how stupid these people are. This is how stupid, this is how dumb these people are in government. Do you see what I'm saying? And what videos like these and statements like these have exposed them over the last couple of years, that these people are now geniuses. See what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, you know, that's why I like, for example, what Derek Blyg is doing with Ireland Force. He's a bricklayer, right? And he's a guy that's out there that knows about a hard day's work and knows about that. And to me, I'm like, well, I feel more linked in with a guy like that than I ever would with a privileged little woman like this. I feel more linked in with that guy than I ever would with Leo Varadkar. The same with Micheál Martin. Guys that wouldn't be able to lift 20-kilogram weights. These guys that are out there, they're soy running through our government. There's no way I would ever feel any sort of linkage towards me and them. And you're also seeing it now with these people and their intellect. These people aren't as clever as they seem and have been promoted as. They are not. And what you're saying now from our side of the fence and from people in general, I think, people are going, I'm way smarter than them. And not even just way smarter, but you've more cop on than these people, and you're saying and doing the right things. And that's what's important to people now. People are going, hang on now for a sec. You're calling people this now for the last, year, and you can't define it. Well, that's interesting. And you're the same person that wants to rush through hate speech laws. This should put an absolute halt to it. It should be done. But they're still going to try and force it through. And I think they need her. I think the apparatus needs her to push this stuff through. I think they have some sort of pact, allegedly, spectively, and they have decided we need to ram this through as much as possible. I wouldn't rule out any sort of other incidents that come up in the next while, and that these people try to run at that now again. They haven't left it alone. You've seen them talk about it previously before the summer, and they said, well, we'll be reevaluating the hate speech there towards the end of the year. Seems like odd timing, doesn't it? Then what happened was it Thursday 2 weeks ago in the evening? Seems like odd timing, doesn't it? Seems like that was sort of going to work out for them, but it backfired. So I think we're really seeing the downfall of an empire here now, and isn't it very entertaining to see people that are totally inept be absolutely flabbergasted as to what to do and what to say. Lips are pursed there, body language, head is low, eyes are down, can't look around the room, no confidence there at all in that one. Afraid to say something because she's either going to try and burst out laughing here or she's going to go, I'm really up to Swanee here now because I don't know what I'm doing. They're done. They're finished. I'm telling you. These people, by the way, and from what I understood, because people were posting it the other day, was if there was a no confidence in Helen McEntee, it would result in a general election. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not, but a lot of people that are out there that are very reliable were saying that is the case. What would have happened had that have happened? It would have been an absolute disaster for these people. Now, I think, and people might say, again, you're crazy for thinking this. I think what that just does is it delays the inevitable. But what I'd say it does too is, I'm saying that I think it gives you more time in whatever party you're in or in whatever constituency or council member that you might be or could be. I think it gives you more time now to mobilise and to take those spots. You know, if I was to think that a general election was going to be called in 2024 there in January, I think was the floated idea, I would have been a bit like, oh, look, that might not work out too well because will people be able to promote themselves as quick in those times? Or will these people be able to just win one over again and try and breeze on past it? Now, if you were telling me prospectively that there's a 2025 election coming up, I think there's people out there that need to be vocal and loud about running their constituencies. Really do. And I think that that's what you're going to do. I think that's the name that you should be building up now over the next year or so, that you're running in that area. Make these people know that you're there. That's what I would do. I think it's very, very much so. They've given you the lead on this. I think if it had been 2024 and it was Sinn Féin going to be up against it, I think Sinn Féin probably would have gotten away with it practically because, again, in my opinion, that people would have just voted them as an alternative. I think that would have been really it. I think that not enough people. I think people are getting wider to Sinn Féin. They're losing points in the polls. Now, I don't believe in the polls really at all. But I do think that they were like, well, we're losing the reins on this. We need to change tact here. When you were talking about Sinn Féin areas, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, I'm sure most of the people listening here do. You're talking about working class areas, and working class areas have turned on these people. You're not getting those people back. That's the thing. Those people don't forget. Like, that's the difference between people in the inner city and people elsewhere as well. That's what people misunderstand. The inner city people remember things, and that's the thing. These guys are going, I remember what Gary Gannon did there. I remember what he said. I remember the people that he was promoting. Finished in that area. I'd be shocked to see if he got any sort of sway next time or any sort of votes. But let's keep going here with this.
Hate. Well, yeah. So it's not. I think we need to define
Senator,
what it is.
you have a limited amount of time. If you're interested.
Thank you. I think what we see from to have a particular ideology.
Not a crime yet. Is that right? Was that what were you going to say? That were you thinking that by any chance? Again,
it's where they act on maybe certain matters, but we have seen people to be anti-government, anti-state, anti-immigration, anti-women's rights, amongst other things. That would be my own particular view of those who would claim to be far right.
So what about the likes of Nigeria, for example, that banned foreign voiceover actors and banned foreign models? Are they racist? Are they xenophobic by any chance about them? No, not interested in that. Very interesting stuff there. So there you go. In trouble. I think that's it now. That's a career ender. I'd say they're all. I'd say Fine Gael just put their heads in their hands and went, oh, because not only have you gotten the Elon Musk situation that has had just happened, where you have been called out publicly as a liar on a massive platform in front of the entire world, you've now got this here too. And wait until Elon Musk says this, by the way. He will make a comment about it. I'm absolutely sure of it. So let's have a look here at what Conor McGregor's been saying, because this, again, some of it's inside baseball that you need to know as well. And also then as well, you need to see what he's been saying. And I like this. Now I'm 100% behind this here. He says, if anointed, the appointing of Taoiseach will begin with a friendly sparring match in my purpose-built President's Octagon in the grass outside Ordis on Uachtaráin. Gum shield, 16-ounce gloves, shin pads, Valley Tudo for Kew. If you cannot spar a friendly spar with your president, you should not leave the country. Televised on PPV. Funds generated go towards our frontline. Nurses, ambulance, fire, Gardaí. Who doesn't agree with that? I would absolutely love to see Leo Varadkar step into an octagon with this fella. I would love nothing more. And I think that is the makings of what we should be looking at. I mean, the word Taoiseach, if anyone doesn't know, the word Taoiseach means chieftain. So when you were seeing a word like that be bandied about Leo Varadkar and Micheál Martin, two soy individuals, and you've got McGregor here that's like, let's go for it. I'm like, fully behind that. So whilst people would say, well, he's just joking around, he's just having a laugh now, that maybe not though. I'd be all for this. Have to be honest, I'd be all for that. Really would. Far right mammy on sale now. You know, had it there, I did. So there you go, there you go there, guys. Here's another thing, because we need to highlight these things as well as we're moving along. Whilst we're talking about what's happening in the country, let's talk about as well too what's going on with companies with large criminal histories that have paid massive fines. Again, I don't know what went on here. It's a very sad situation. Full condolences and total sympathies go towards the families. This is becoming normalised, though, what's happening to young people, and I want to just take a moment to highlight this. This is becoming so normalised that people are trying not to bring this up. Now, I know a person, I know an individual, and credit to them, they actually brought this up to me. They were like, and this is a person, by the way, that engaged with the Voldemort, if you know what I'm saying. This person brought this up to me, and they were like, seems like an awful lot of young people are having issues, doesn't it? And I said, yeah. And they went, think it's this stuff. And I went, wow. And I was like, and what about you? Like, where did you stand? Oh, no, I partook, they said. And I went, all right. And I said, well, you know, wasn't for me. And they were looking and they were like, fair play to you. But I said, look, it's amazing now that person was willing to say that and confide in me and say that to me. But I was thinking to myself then in that moment, how many people that are out there now that are actually seeing what's going on here, burying their heads in the sand and pretending like this isn't happening. This won't happen to me. Won't happen to me. Piers Morgan, by the way, during the week, I have tested positive for the renamed flu from China. And people are going, I thought you were Voldemort up there, chap. That doesn't seem like a good promotion, does it? Interesting times. So what's going on here? Why is a former Tyrone minor footballer passing away in Australia? What's going on there? This is another good meme. I'm Irish now. I hope you like that. We'll crack on now and we'll see what else is happening here. HSE, Ireland, Waterford staff, record flu Voldemort success. Look at the heads in them, lads. You know what way they vote. Look at that. Anyway, our patients are protected if our staff are protected. When they did the TikTok dances, I particularly finished with these people. University Hospital Waterford, Director of Nursing and Integration, Orla Kavanagh. Almost 90% of the staff have received... what was that say there? Over 90% of the staff at UHW, excuse me, all over the place here. One thing just popped up there. I didn't know how to deal with it was, so I was doing it. UHW received their flu Voldemort last year, the highest percentage of staff in a hospital setting in the country. Everybody that I know that takes that, by the way, ends up getting sick anyway. There's not one person that I've seen that's gone, oh, I got that and I didn't get sick at all. Everybody gets sick from what I've seen in my personal experiences in my life. UHW are determined to beat their uptake this year, and their goal remains the same: to protect staff, patients, and their families from the flu. Wow. You've also got media that's out there that are like the 100-day cough. This is a new thing that's out there and causing people a bother. Sometimes just these things just linger if people don't get enough rest and recuperation. Madness what we're dealing with these days, isn't it really? So Elon Musk was on to Conor McGregor, and this is a thing. Look at this, 65.7 thousand views when this was taken. Elon Musk says, I think you could take them all single-handed. Not even fair. So McGregor lays it out, and this is what's important. He's laying out how you could become president in this country, and it is incredibly difficult. And this is the thing, you need to start finding people that are going to fit this box and seeing if they will stand for him. I fancy my chances in on 100%. I'd need to be nominated either by at least 20 members of the Oireachtas, so that's important, or at least 4 local authorities, aka county councils, to run. McGregor is showing you the path to get him there. I would definitely look into this for sure, and I would say, do this, back him. Your choices are Jerry Adams, Enda Kenny, and Bertie Ahern. Do you know what I'm saying? Most 26 local authorities are county councils. There are also 3 city councils, Dublin, Galway and Cork, and 2 councils that oversee a city and a county, Limerick and Waterford, a process. Either way, I'd just be happy with absolute transparency and consultation to the public. Currently, there is none. Not an iota. Has anyone disagreed with what he's saying so far? False promises come around the time of election and then it is literally straight ignorance into the face thereafter. It's disgusting. Does anyone disagree with what he's saying? Even opposition politics seems to me more about the attempt of gaining power versus seeking their change. If those currently in power agree to usher in all opposition stance on change, it wouldn't even be enough. It's power greed, the aim. I feel if a power swap happened today, the situation would simply reverse. I fully agree with him. The same questions and requests and condemnations, but only from the opposite side then. Anybody remember Eamon Gilmore? Anybody remember him? Said great things when he was on the outside. Got on the inside. That was it. Game over. Me, I'd clean the dot if it meant our issues were heard and corrected and the public were consulted in these decisions. A true democracy. Among many other things, the allocation of our nation's funds has been nothing short of criminal and without an iota of consideration for the public's thinking. Fiscal irresponsibility. It's almost like McGregor's listening to this show. It's almost like he's listening to everybody and what they're saying. This is exactly what we've been talking about for the last couple of years. No consultation, no interest in hearing from people, just shouting people down, using the media, and then saying, by the way, guys, if you have a meme on your phone, if you have a meme on your phone and the police don't get your password, you're getting a 12-month stretch for that. This is where that goes. I am fully agreeing with what he's saying so far. Without an iota of consideration for the public's thinking, this is why I'd run if I was to be a voice of the people that deserve to be heard. President of Ireland is a unique position to other countries, but it would demand response to questioning. Dialect would be so good for us in the public. Our people feel ignored, unheard, until, of course, election time. Then the waffle begins. Hope all is well, bro. Congrats on the app and rebrand to X. It is flying like those rockets. There's nothing there that I disagree with. Is there anything there that you disagree with? I'd say give him a shot. And see, do you know what the point is? And what I'll say about this is, people will say, and everyone does it, right? They'll go, yeah, but what if he doesn't do it? I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. And it's the same people that say, well, why are you telling me to vote for this party or that party or this person or that person? What will they do? I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. And I understand that we have a tendency to be like, well, very wary of this because we've heard all this sort of stuff before. And that's exactly what McGregor is saying. But why not give them a chance? Because if you're going to just go back to voting for Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil and Sinn Féin, you're getting more of the same. So why not give someone that's a total outlier, total outsider, total difference a chance? That's my way of thinking now. Community shock as young businessman on hurler passes after collapse while running. It's been touted as being totally normal nowadays as well too. So, don't worry about that, guys. Let's not worry about young people having these types of issues at all. But I don't think anybody's disagreeing with what McGregor is saying. I think everyone's like, yeah, no, that sounds good. I'm all for that there. That sounds happy days. Now, I'll show you a few more pictures here now that we're going through. BBC The View, one's right to be here is not up for debate. Former Lord Mayor of Dublin, Hazel Chew from the Green Party talks to Mark Carruthers about Ireland's immigration policies. Now, I think I talked about this last week. There was a big poll that I did online, and I asked, would people deport her? A large percentage, over 90%, said yes, they would. But why is this person getting airtime? Why are people that dislike our country like this person as well too getting airtime? People are very fearful. They're terrified of even thinking about walking the street, not just in Dublin, right across Ireland. SDLP councillor El Sinoi If you can walk across Nigeria unbothered with a Christian cross around your neck, come back to me. Let me know. Because Nigeria has huge problems, for example. I'm singling out Nigeria because they're the ones that get the most promotion about these things. But these people have some gall to be coming to our country and telling us how they feel. You have left a shithole to come over here, and all you've done is bitch and moan about our country while seeking public office. That's not how things work. That is not how things work. And what you are doing, what people like this individual and Hazel Chew are doing, are sowing mentalities and attitudes into people that do not need to be there. They are showing and sowing in my humble opinion, discontent amongst people, division. These people will talk about you being a hater and you full of hatred and all that. These people are the very people that are telling you that, oh, Ireland isn't safe. We don't feel safe because of you people here. If you feel that way, go on home, foreign soldier, go on home. Have you got no fucking home of your own? Someone will clip that up, they will. But that's what you've got. You've got people running around our country telling us what's what. Now, here's the thing. 100 years ago, people removed the British Empire for doing the exact same thing. The British people don't feel safe walking around the streets of Ireland. You shouldn't be here. You weren't supposed to be here. You were not supposed to be invading our country. That's the type of stuff that they would be going with if that happened today. The British Empire is very upset at the Irish people for saying that they're no longer welcome in their country. I don't know whether you've clued into what's going on here, buddy, but that's the case. If Ireland invaded Britain tomorrow, I'm sure there would be an awful lot of anti-Irish sentiment, wouldn't there? There would be an awful lot of people that would say don't want any Irish here. That still exists, by the way, in Britain, and I can understand it to a point of view when people are like, well, there was incidents that happened there. I understand it. I get that. Again, when you're thinking logically and you're thinking rationally and reasonably, you can see the points that people make. But these people that are rocking over to our country telling us to change our ways to suit them, doesn't work like that. You've come from a failed country. Why are you not a politician in your country? Why is that? Why are you not a politician in your country? Because Ireland ain't your country. I was born here. I don't give a shit. If a horse is in a barn and born in a barn, it's a horse. If a dog is born in a barn, it suddenly doesn't become a fucking horse. This is where we're at. These people that are rocking into our place and going, I'm as Irish as you are. No, you aren't. No, you aren't. I put up a poll on Twitter I did, and I said, if a dog is born in a barn, is it now a horse? And fucking 8% said, the dog that's born in the barn is a horse. That's how stupid people are. Because they knew what it was about. They were like, bollocks, we're caught out here. 8%. At least 92 were like, that's absolutely lunacy now. That is there. Of course, the dog is still a dog. You know what I mean? Simple when you apply those type of things there. This is something that came out recently, and it was talking about the ethnic makeup of Dublin County from 2006. Look what's happened in a short space of time. So white Irish were 83.1%. In 2022, they're 68%. Look at what you have there as well too in the light blue there. You've got, is it there, or other white, is that what they're marking out there? Other white there. It's gone from 8.1% up to 12%. You've got black that's there, that's gone from 1.8% to 2.2%, but you're seeing them everywhere. You're seeing them all over media, whether it be posters, whether it be advertisements, whether it be YouTube videos. You're starting to see them be really overrepresented. Like when you think about that there, less than 3% of the population there are being pushed as being just as Irish as you are in adverts. Asians from 2.6% to 5.8%. That is a huge jump. That's a staggering jump. Other there has gone from 1.5% to 3%. That's doubled. Not stated has gone from 2.5% all the way to 8.5%, which is quite large also. The other white there, what's the Irish Traveller, I think that might be there, is gone from 0.4% and it has stayed at 0.4%. So that has just stayed the same as. So this is what you're seeing. You're seeing the makeup of Ireland, and particularly Dublin County, changing rapidly. They're openly gloating about it in the media, and they're talking about, the Irish are going to be a minority by 2050, allegedly, speculatively. But this is what you're going to see. If the current trend keeps going, you're going to see people not be here. You've got you have the repeal the 8 stuff that was promoted to people. So the idea was get rid of future Irish generations and import people like these that are hostile. So that's not going to work out in the long term. Really isn't. So those figures are very important. Now, I'm not sure where those figures come from. If they are indeed figures that are representative of what's going on here in Dublin County, that's a stark warning. That's a real bad look. And not only that, then that's going to continue to go down. What about when it comes down to 50%? You're in serious bother there. That's not far off 15% or 50%. You're 18% away from that. That's bad news. That's a bad figure. Let's keep going. Now, there's a video coming out about this. Okay, so prepare for this one. What do you think that this picture is showing? Just someone maybe say something there in the comments there. Will a couple of people just write down what you think is happening in this picture? What do you think they're at there? What sort of event they're at? I'm just going to give you a moment as well too. If you're watching this live and you can't comment, or if you're watching this on a replay, think about what you're seeing here in this picture. Refuse Nick Sean says 3 men. We've got End of Line Joe says NPC Zealots. We've got Cheese from Fenara Muraku. Lefty Strong Women says Streaky Bacon. Sivna Isan says a wedding with 2 females. Citizenship ceremony era only B1014. 3 women, 3 men pretending to be women. Let's see if we get any more in there. Over 200 people in here tonight. Welcome to the madhouse. Arnold the Saxon says white chicks. Ugly duckling ceremony. Wayne Burke. I'll tell you what this is, by the way. This is smiling. Point that out here. Smiling at a new centre being opened for survivors of being assaulted in a particular way. So you know the fruit, it's called grape. Yeah, you know that fruit? You know what I'm talking about? You know that fruit? Yeah. So a new centre for that. And that's the picture that they put up. Wait till you see the screenshot that I have for this. The screenshot that I have for this, and I will be doing a video on this because I think this needs to be highlighted. How inept is this woman? And I'm not just talking about, this is the person, this round-headed individual here is the person who took the picture. Look at the Cheshire Cat. You can tell by the eyes, Chico. Look at the eyes. Look at them. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, look what we're opening, guys. This is great there. We have to open a new one here. We do in County Meath, do we? That's great. I'm very happy. I'm very happy about this. The smiles on this thing. She has teeth like Rice Krispie. She has. At least she's getting them fixed. Maybe she's listening into the show. I don't know what's going on. Because she started to get the teeth fixed there recently. But this is what was posted out by this woman. I was absolutely flabbergasted about this, lads. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that this woman put this out publicly and said, look at what we're opening. The video's coming on it soon. I won't elaborate on this too much more, but that's exactly the types of manners that you're getting here from these people. That's why leftist women shouldn't be running anything. There's an anti-women sentiment here, it is. Because you dummies are the very ones that are letting people into the country unvetted, undocumented, and in an unlimited fashion that is causing these things to be opened up. And causing for more of them to be opened up. Now, we've said it beforehand. Just a quick swig before I get into the next point. I've said it beforehand. People that are in these spheres that are never going to be affected by incidents, or so they think, because you see what's happened in America to people. There's producers there. Salty Cracker did a very good video. I think it was in San Francisco. A producer walking through a specific area, clipped. And he's like, Democrat policies. You see your man as well too there, where he was walking along with his girlfriend, and your man attacks him out of nowhere as well too. And he's trying to stave him off there with his hands while your man has a blade. Democrat policies. And now was his ex-girlfriend, because your man's no longer with us now. He's no longer on this plane of existence. She's gone visiting the guy that did what he did in prison. Democrat policies, leftist women that have all let this happen. And these people, like McIntyre earlier on, anti-women's rights, I think we've come to a point in time, and it's not all women, because there's base women that are in here in the chat, and there's base women that listen in. And I'm telling you now, when you look at the base women, they're far better looking than the 3 of these cave trolls from Lord of the Rings, or I should say even The Hobbit. These 3 look like the cave trolls they do from that. Anyway, we have a point in time now where you're looking at it and you're saying to yourself, all right, now I get what Ninja Knight's talking about here now. These people are actively smiling, having a good time about a centre that's so serious that these people will tell you super duper serial. They'll be like, this is super duper for serious, guys. These are smiling about that in a public post. It's insane. It is insane, lads. There will be a video coming on that, though. Irish independence, a gigantic global sewer. Is it time we all left X? So the media are throwing the toys out of the pram because they're not getting what they want. And they're like, shit. It seems like people are ratioing us on our posts. It seems like we're having to lock replies on everything that we post. Leo Varadkar has recently been locking replies on his posts as well. That's some leader, huh? He knows. And Roderick O'Gorman gets it every time he posts that. Now, Adon or Reardon locks the replies as well too, but still gets slammed in the quotes he does. They all do. They're all getting it. But this is the media's thing. We don't like what we're hearing, so guess what we're going to do, guys? We're going to take our ball and we're going to walk away. You see, the reason why I'm posting this from Gab, just so you know, is because people like me and others who questioned what was going on for the last couple of years were removed from that platform because you questioned things, because you wanted an open debate and discourse about what was going on. These people, on the other hand, as soon as the open debate and discourse is happening, they're like, shit, we need to get out of here. That's how it looks. The Mayor of Paris delivered a broadside this week as she quit X. Roisin Lanigan asked whether we should all follow her example. Now, the reason why your woman from Paris is leaving is because things are starting to get hot and heavy over there. You've got the Paris police and French police at large that are talking about if there is a French gathering of far right. And you're going, what? They've actually broken up meetings with people that they considered far right. They've started to arrest people that were gathering together that they considered far right. I don't know about you guys, but that's fascism, that's authoritarianism, and that is bad. What you're trying to do is you're locking up political opponents and political dissenters, and that is negative. That is communism, okay? So that's not a good look at all. And the French politicians are deciding to try and walk away from it. Now, again, I'll say it all the time, especially when you see what happened in America and in France. And when I'm referencing France, how can you have a president, Emmanuel Macron, how can you have him walk into a stadium and be booed by the entire stadium and then go, that guy legitimately got back there, yeah. And then you see all the incidents that are happening in Paris and in France at large. The reason why there was a big issue with France, they're trying to suppress this, by the way, too. There was a young man, a young French man, and not like what they tell you a young French man looks like now. He's not a Kimpembe or anything like that, not Mbappe or anything like that. An actual Frenchman, what you would picture in your mind's eye as a Frenchman, was very viciously attacked. And people went out and they protested about it. And then the government had a wobbly. They were like, we can't have these people protesting. Did you not just have one of those incidents again? Another one of those religion of peace incidents again in France recently? But you're focusing on people gathering together because they're saying that what you're doing is anti-white. We see you. We know what you're doing. In response, the Taoiseach says he agrees that the local radio is vital in countering misinformation spread online. This was shared by Mick O'Keefe, okay? And what they are doing is they are actively telling you now how they use the likes of the local radio. Now, I've heard this all before. When I sit in a specific area, whether it be a car, a restaurant, or whether it be some sort of shop, when I sit in it, I walk around, sit in the car. Other places, not so much. You walk around them. But when you're there and you're listening to some of the stuff, I remember recently being in a shop and I was talking then to a chap that was working there because on the radio that they had playing, you know, you have absolute creeps like Anton Savage, allegedly speculatively, going along, and Jeremy Dixon and Adrian Kenny, guys, it's very warm today, and that could be to do with climate change, and I think that's very bad, and we possibly need to pay more taxes for this. And I'm listening going, it's the first bit of good weather we've gotten in a long time, and these little bitches are out there now crying about good weather. And I said it to this chap, I was like, do you hear this? Like, do you hear it? And your man's looking at me, he's like, yeah, mate, I do. And I was like, it's not just me that thinks that this is ridiculous. We got a nice bit of weather, and these people are crying about it. And this bloke, I'm not joking with you, turned around and says to me, yeah, sure, like, they won't talk about the fact that they're flying planes in the skies and they're drawing big lines. And I was like, mate, great to hear that. I said, you're on the wavelength. That's brilliant to hear. But this is what he is now admitting to. He's admitting to putting information out there. When I say information as well, too, these people want to say misinformation, disinformation. They never call them liars, though. Remember that. Always remember that. They're now telling you what they're using that for. The Taoiseach points to schemes being developed. Whenever you hear the word and see the word scheme, I'm like, I think of like Dick Dastardly or something like that, that's sitting there with Muttley going, what can we do here today? You know, spindling the fingers together like Mr. Bournes. What can we do? How do we do it? Being developed by the Department of Media to support local radio. Now, these people get very upset about average Joes like myself and yourself having streams and holding open debates about what's going on. They get very upset about that. They don't like this at all. They don't like the fact that Toby and Mick O'Keefe are having Twitter spaces. They hate that. They hate that. 900 people, I think, was in at the last one. They don't like it because what it is doing is it is absolutely disrupting their narrative. It is like a wrecking ball comes swinging in, and it's like the Miley Cyrus song coming swinging in and going boom, done. Because how can you compete with someone that is holding a genuine opinion and is given it as such? You cannot do that. And that's why these people that are at these news stations, and when I say news stations, radio stations, stuff like that, that's why they come across as inauthentic. And that's why when they're found and seen in public life and publicly on the streets and people question them, they all run away. They don't know what to say because they haven't got the script in front of them. Again, allegedly, speculatively. I'm speaking without a script here. I'm telling you what I'm thinking. So he says the subject to state aid approval. 2 new schemes will be in place next year, hopefully before the elections. Is that not supposed to be swaying people then? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're doing? This includes the local democracy fund and courts reporting fund. Again, money being spent on things that's absolute nonsense to give these people a bit of airtime. News talk as well too are having politicians on regularly spouting nonsense. Remember Leo Varadkar was talking about nationalism in a very negative connotation. Remember that not too long ago, trying to put the frighteners up people. Didn't work. You had Owen O'Brien in there as well too, talking absolute codswallop. You've Luke O'Neill that's in there. Is there any investigation going into Luke O'Neill at all by any chance? That stuff that he's recommended now as after being found out not to be any good at all. Interesting times, boys. This includes the local democracy fund and courts reporting fund. Said that. Lowry thanks him for his reply and says this funding will help local radio secure its future. That doesn't sound strange, does it? He says it will provide relief from the financial burden that they currently endure. So there you go. Fair play to Mick O'Keefe for sharing that one out there. That's an absolute codswallop of a thing. Because now what you're saying is these people start to openly admit what's going on. It's like, hey, guess what, guys? We're going to give money to these people. Okay, so does that mean now that I can rightfully say that there's no impartiality about this? Are these people impartial? Are they biased now? Because that's the way I'd go about it. If someone came along to me, and they haven't even told you a figure, by the way, there either. They haven't told you how much has been spent on that. So if someone came along to me, which again, I've said it all of the time, and I'll say it again, no big news station or anything that's ever going to recruit me. No news stations out there. Too wild. This is the thing. I'm too wild. And these people don't want that. Okay? You are going to have someone, and maybe it will happen at some point in time. I don't know. But someone could run along here and go, I'll tell you what, Ninja Knight, €1,000,000 there, that's yours there. And you go, well, you know, we'll look at that. But I'll say no. Because what happens then is, if you get that money, you're now beholden to these people. These people would say, well, you can't say this, you can't say that, you have to say it this way, you have to say it that way. That's why Spotify was a good move for Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan headed over there and he was saying what he's saying. Now, does he get hindered and hampered sometimes? I'm sure he probably does. I'm sure there's certain things that he's talked about and he's told, listen, don't bring that up. Like The Rock, the stream with The Rock was a very strange stream. Now, what do I think? I think The Rock is probably going to try and run. I think the Democrats are starting to move him into that sort of, he was there at some sort of conference there. Stick an actor in there, read his lines, try be likeable. We've had 4 bad years. And I'm talking about American politics because if it factors in here, it's only going to be a matter of time before the Irish government, maybe even media, try and wheel out some celebrity. They've had the likes of your man from Game of Thrones, who's absolutely flatlined when it comes to posting stuff online. They've had Gettr. No one gives a rat's. They've had Imelda May. No one cares. No one's supporting these people. But now you have a Taoiseach in these guys here, like saying, that was a terrible sentence, I'll retract that one there. The Taoiseach is saying about funding for radio stations. Now, if someone comes along to me and says, we're going to give you funding, there's always, in my opinion, a caveat to that. There's always something that they want. They are not just giving that for the fun of it. They're not giving that for you to be able to keep on going, which is the comment that they're making. They are giving that for a specific reason, and that's what I think. And I'm sure an awful lot of people think that too. They say to themselves, well, you're not getting money for nothing. You're obviously expecting something in return. And what is it? There's an interesting one here. Someone's out there saying the green thing there from Gremlins, and they're like, whoa, what's that? You'll have a look. Africa is 430 times the size of Ireland, so why do Africans have to live in Ireland? It's a good point, isn't it? It's a good one. That's a good meme. Elon Musk says Ireland's current government mistreats the people of Ireland. That is why the people of Ireland are so unhappy with them. This is why the media and politicians are freaking out, because they're like, holy moly, guys, this dude is saying what he's thinking, and we can't stop it. That's their biggest concern. They're like, we can't halt what this dude is saying at all. This is big problems for us. These are big problems for us. Garda Info put this one out. I think we should just look at this for a sec. Wow. From tomorrow, we will begin a pilot of new operational uniform baseball caps. Surely you're putting out this now and you're going to be saying, right guys, we're going to be at the border, we're after developing a task force now and we're going to deport people forcibly out of this country. That's what you're going to do, yeah? That's the big talking point over the last while. That's what you're going to do. You're going to be out at the airport, anybody coming off the plane without any documents, straight back to wherever they came from, yes? You're going to be setting up people to go around like they do in Australia, finding people that are not supposed to be here, looking for documents. If they're not supposed to be here, boom, out of the country they go. That's what you're doing here, yeah? Oh, no, it's not. Uniform baseball caps in 3 stations, Ballinasloe, County Galway, Terranure, Dublin, and Bantry, County Cork. The pilot will include 2 sample caps, a soft baseball cap and a bump stop cap, keeping people safe. What a fucking embarrassment. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. How is it possible that this is what they are posting now? How? How do you have the gall and the audacity to turn around and post this out? Meanwhile, there's a total crisis going on. You have a government that is wildly out of control. That are openly calling for the censorship of citizens in this country. That are openly calling for all sorts of radical things that have absolutely taken away civil rights, liberties and freedoms over the last couple of years over the flu. And this is what you're posting now? And this is after you were caught on social media liking the post of a radical leftist that has alleged links to Antifa? Stop the lights. This is why an awful lot of people don't support you anymore. This is why when they see incidents like they saw in town on Thursday, the 25th of November, if I'm not mistaken there in the date, this is why people look at that and they don't feel anything. Because would it not be better? Listen, there was a picture that was posted out by one of these accounts yesterday, and there was a dog. And the dog was there. I think they were on Grafton Street. And there was 2 guards, and the dog was there. The dog looked fucking embarrassed to be there, standing beside us. The dog was looking down and was like, "Shit, I'm being pictured with these 2." And meanwhile, then there was a major incident on James's Street. I don't know about you guys, but certainly then when you see that and you see all of the stuff that's been going on over the last couple of years, it is absolutely inexplicable to me how you can vote as the GRA 98.7% against Drew Harris. You've no confidence in him. And then you see all of this sort of stuff come out. I don't get it. Like, can someone explain that to me? The feeling within the place must be absolutely awful. It has to be. The morale has to be at an all-time low. Has to be. That's unbelievable. Really is. Look at this thing. This is like the thing from Gremlins or this. Do you remember the one there where they were like, it's a female gremlin, Gremlins too? This is a person that's gone around posting pictures of Conor McGregor with a Union Jack behind them wearing the poppy. This is what the left have been doing over the last couple of days. Conor McGregor wore the poppy 10 years ago, and this is what's going on. And McGregor put a video out and he was like, I wore it 10 years ago, it was handed to me, look good on the suit, didn't really know what it meant, totally ignorant about it, put it on. Irish soldiers were involved in that too. Remembrance is what I was told. He says, would I wear it now? No. That was it. But this is what gobdaws like this individual have decided to put out. This is what Amadon's like this individual decided to put out. Look at him wearing the British flag behind him. Turtle-headed looking individual. People are talking about the Hulk. Yeah, this is like She-Hulk, isn't it, lads? It's as bad as the show anyway. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. That's a serious profile picture, by the way. What is a woman? I have no idea. But you'll vote, yes, in the upcoming referendum, right? What's it about? It's about women, actually. Fucking morons. This is what we're getting. This is what we have. And this is a very simple meme that was put out there that absolutely shows you what politicians are. I cannot wait for the memes to come out about Helen McEntee and that far right statement. That is going to be an absolute banger, lads. Absolute. Here we have this. We have the Frankfurter Allgemeine Boyentech. Okay. Unexpected cell processes after the Voldemort. The technology of these Voldemorts is still quite new. Researchers have now observed unexpected molecular processes inside the cells of people after Voldemort. That's kind of like what we said 2 years ago. We've been proved right. There was a big concern during the scam. What if the Voldemorts not only introduce genetic information into the cells that are used to activate the immune system, but also change the genetic material of the cells themselves? Or if the molecular processes were initiated that were not expected? Some people preferred not to be immunized. Now, a study published in Nature shows that Voldemort can have unforeseen effects. Specifically, this involves a process that scientists call ribosomal frame shifting. To understand it, you'll have to understand the molecular processes that the Voldemort and they go on to label that there. Looks like the conspiracy theorists were right again on this one. Chalk down again. Another W for the conspiracy theorists, boys. It seems like conspiracy theorists are up 20-0 at this stage because anything that the government put out there and media put out seem to have all been proven wrong. I don't know about you guys, but my information that's coming from Harry from the flats is definitely better than what I'm getting from RTE. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's unbelievable. It really is. But this is where we're at. And this is something people will say, Ninja Knight, you keep going back to this here. You're like a dog with a bone. This stuff, don't forget, all stems from that too. The fact that they're currently getting away with this and have gotten away with it at this point in time, and until they're held accountable, I am still going to shout about this till there's no more breath left in my lungs, because these were 2 horrendous years that these people inflicted upon you for, in my opinion, no reason, and in the opinions of others. They did things, and they did things to people that will forever have a psychological effect on people. I know people as well that were standing outside likes of the Rotunda that were forcibly made stand out there when they couldn't go in and see their own children. And yet they saw crews from RTE waltzing in past them. I know people. And people know people that has happened to too. Lots of people are very afraid to talk about it. People like me ain't. And an awful lot more individuals are coming out of the woodwork and they're saying, yeah, no, I wasn't happy with that either. And what's happening is now there's a gathering of momentum. And I think we need to reflect upon that, and we need to keep looking back upon it and saying, this is where the flashpoint happened, I think, where people said, this isn't right. Lots of stuff that's happened since then, by the way. Don't forget, an awful lot of anger is coming from this too. And it's been directed into what's gone on recently. Or I should say even redirected. Because once these things pass a certain amount of time, people, they'll try and memory hold this and try and say, oh, this didn't happen at all. Meanwhile, the cases of the suddenlies for young people, I think Canada put out an advert there recently where they were saying young children can have heart attacks. I mean, it's a harrowing image, lads, where you have kids that are running on a field track or a track that's on the field, whatever way you want to talk about it, and running track, I should say. And the kid is running along, and next while the kid stops and it's holding his chest, and he's holding his chest. And you're looking at it and you're like, this is unbelievable what they're doing. They're actually promoting this here. They're actually telling you that this is normalized. This is where we're at. And this is because these people haven't been held accountable for what they did. I want to see them held accountable. There was a video that came out of Eamon Ryan. A lot of people were alleging that he looked like the Wolf of Wall Street in it. And I mean, even the Wolf of Wall Street, they were talking about him looking like Zelensky in it. Look at the mush on this fella. Roscommon notice board. So whilst all of that's going on, let's see what else is happening here in our fine country. So, Vatican post this out. So this went around a number of groups, and it went around online. And the more times that people put this out, the better, because they go, look what's happening. Hi, Roscommon community. I'll stop. Me and my partner, beloved, living in Donomon Castle in the refugee centre for Ukrainians at the moment. We are looking house or flat in Roscommon City. We are eligible for ARP program, a tax-free payment of €800 per month for each property used to provide accommodation to refugees from Ukraine. These people know all about these things, don't they? Meanwhile, I know people that are over the age of 60, and I know people that are looking for things for genuine disabilities, and they're being told no. They're like, nah, we're all right. But then you're looking at Kimpembe coming in behind you, and you're gonna give him a few bob, and he's saying that he has 15 kids, and he's gonna get money for each one. Are you checking that? Anyway, allegedly. Anyway, we are both working full time. I'm working in several refugee centres, and Diana baking muffins in West Bakery. We will cover all utility bills and other expenses that will arise if we live in the house. No bad habits and animals. Appreciate your time for reading this post. So that's what's going on. €800 per month. Now, you look at that seriously and you think of niece, nephew, maybe your own self, and these people are getting €800 for this. That's why people are upset with Ukrainians. That's why people are upset with people coming into this country, by the way. Just so you know. Because they're seeing things like this and they're going, hang on here. And it's actually out in the open. It's been posted as well too on public media. Or what I should say, social media, publicly. That's why people are getting pissed off. Because this stuff is just so in your face now. And if you were there as an Irish person trying to get any sort of grant on it, that you've been told to swivel on it, that's exactly what's going on to people. I'm talking to people that are getting exceptions for mortgages. It's absolutely outrageous. They are paying way above the odds for a shithole. And then there's people like this walking into the country then that are getting everything handed to them. It's an absolute disgrace what's going on in this country. It is a disgrace. And it is about time that people have said, yeah, no, we've had enough of this now. I think we've come to a point in time now where people have gone on and said, we're done. There's Tommy there pointing out there, the French farmers dumping urine tires at the council buildings in Gettr as they continue their protests across the country against green taxes and policies destroying their businesses and livelihoods. So the French are at it, the Dutch are at it across the world as well too. The Spanish are still at it as well too. Their media are not covering that one, by the way. They're pretending like what's happening in Spain isn't happening either. But we'll go back down to this here now. This jumped out for some reason. So that's an €800 payment being made for people there. Yeah. There you go, Grant. What about the paddy? Nah, nothing for the paddy. You can just sit in your home with your solar panels, and you can't burn turf. You've been told don't do that. You've been told that's bad for the environment. Madness, isn't it? Now let's have a look at this fella. I'm going to get onto a couple of articles then, and we'll wrap this bad boy up here now within just under 2 hours, I'd say. Abdullah Al-Jamali, all right? This guy, quite frankly, is a complete piece of shit. Me reacting to all the racist comments and messages from the so-called Irish patriots this morning. This guy should be deported out of this country ASAP. Now, I know people, and I said it before and I keep saying it again. I know people that are of the religion of peace, faith. And when I show them stuff like this, they all put their heads in the hands and they go, oh. I might say, well, what do you think? And they go, getting a bad name for us. Very bad name. And I'd say, I agree. But what's your people doing about this? Are they calling this guy up? Are they getting in touch with him and saying, don't do that? Don't annoy people? I said, because the longer you leave it and the longer you don't do that, the more this guy is going to piss people off, and the more people are going to say, well, it's not just you, all you go. So this guy's running around with a whore and telling you that he is just as Irish as you are. This is the type of individual that you're being put up with. And again, this is a fella now that's gathering some sort of following online. He's gathering a following on the likes of Twitter, and he's getting regularly ratioed in the comments, which is a big plus. And the fact that he is even saying this as well too just goes to show you how much people are not for this. So when he's saying racist comments, what's a racist comment towards you, pal? What is that? What do you mean by that? Because guess what? When people are calling out, for example, your religion, and an awful lot of people do, and the problems that they have with it, I don't think that's racist at all. I think that's people just pointing out holes in your story. That's what I think that is. I also think as well too, when people are saying, well, you're rocking along here and telling people you're just as Irish as they are, that's not true either. And this fella, by the way, from what I understand, was refused denied entry into America, but he's been let into our country. Again, allegedly speculating on that one, but I think that was well documented, was it not? People let me know in the chat. People were saying that this guy wasn't allowed into America, but he's been let into this country. Why is that? Why are we putting up with so many of these people that are talking disparagingly about Irish people? Now, this fella, if he said something like this 100 years ago, I don't think he would be fondly liked. I don't think there would be a fondness for this fella at all. You know? So I don't know why people like this guy feel emboldened to say these things. I mean, I wouldn't walk over I wouldn't go to Dubai and be like, the Dubai people here are very racist, and I got messages from these so-called Dubai patriots, and I'm just as a Dubai person as they are. I wouldn't be in the country very long. I wouldn't be in the place very long. It just wouldn't happen. I wouldn't be allowed to stay there. I wouldn't be allowed to return there. It would be over. It would be done. And I wouldn't find anything that I could have a qualm about that way. I'd be like, well, yeah, it did disrespect you. So there you go. But this guy running around here with a Dublin t-shirt on, it's outrageous, isn't it? Absolutely outrageous. Clown world stuff. Up to 3/4 of all deportation orders are not enforced, figures reveal. So that's great. 3/4 of them. No, get out of the country. Well, are you forcibly getting me out of here? No, just go whenever you feel like it. It's like the last orders there in the pub. Quick swig there. Just like the last orders in the pub there. You can go when you feel like it. We might try and push a couple of people out that haven't spent good money, but you know what we're going to do? If you don't really want to go, don't worry about it. 3/4 of them not being enforced, guys. That is bad news. Really bad news. Global government affairs there. We've got on X, they quote tweeted Fine Gael and called them lawyers. They said some social media companies that did a video on this, by the way, cooperated with An Garda Síochána to take down inflammatory content last Thursday. Never produced any receipts there, by the way. And again, female detective that was involved in that. Unfortunately, X did not. That's why we are taking action to ensure social media companies. Now, they're all about control. And the fact of the matter is that they've realised that X is a big problem for them, because I had this conversation with a guy on a stream there actually a week ago. And it was it was funny because we were talking between ourselves, and I said a lot of people misunderstand that X isn't a social media website. I said it's actually a weapon, and this absolute moron was like, "It's not a weapon. How is it a weapon?" I was like, "It's an information war." And your man's like, yeah. And I'd say, yeah. So that means that all the stories that had been suppressed in the past are not being suppressed anymore. And actually, there's more people talking about what's going on, and it's happening, which means that that's not good for governments, and it's not good for media. And this idiot, no joke, went, "But how is it a weapon?" And I said, "Did you not just hear what I just said? They have used it for years to cultivate a culture and have cultivated things like, for example, degeneracy. They have cultivated a no family unit. They have cultivated that the idea that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. They have cultivated all this. And they have told you then to self-censor. There are people that are out there that won't say how they feel. So when you see all of that sort of stuff, you go, yeah, it is a weapon, because that's what they've done. They've tried to slap people into submission and say, you think and talk about how we want them. And since Elon Musk has come and gone, he's gone, nah, I'm not having this. I'm not doing this at all. And I think that that's super important, because that's why these people are as panicked as they are. They don't know how to deal with this. They didn't think there would be any opposition whatsoever. So what they said was, this is inaccurate. We have proactively taken action on more than 1,230 pieces of content under our rules relating to the riots. We met with the Commission Amman on 24th of November to discuss our response. The Gardaí did not make any formal request. 23rd of November, I'll just fact check myself from earlier on there. I said 25th, 23rd November to discuss our response. The Gardaí did not make any formal requests to us until late Monday, the 27th of November. We responded promptly. The only appeal we have received from the Gardaí relating to the enforcement of our rules is for a single post. We hope the Minister will clarify her remarks. Boom. Done. Stressed. Look at the head in it. Wicked Witch of the West. There you go. The Social Democrats I talked about there already. Meet the Cork. This is how Cork Biower reporting this, by the way. This is legitimately a Robin Williams here. This is legitimately a Doubtfire who could become Ireland's first Doubtfire city councillor. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Stop the lights. Again, another individual here, another person that is an invader of our country, deciding, I'm not happy with how you say things in your country. If you're not happy here, fuck off home. So anyway, Senator Sharon Keoghan, I received a call from an area. This is a very serious comment, by the way. received a call from an area in Westmeath where a family travelled from Bangladesh, flew into Belfast airport last week, travelled down to Dublin to bypass, and were given their own front door for a new 3-bed apartment. And what does shit the brick up here say? As the senator occupying a public office, you should know that the international protection system doesn't work like this. I think if anybody knows anything about it, it's probably Sharon Calgan. It is people like you who are responsible for inciting the likes of the unfortunate incident that happened in Dublin recently. Like the black fellas that were looting. Is that what you mean? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, they're so unlike that these guys went out and they had to get some reparations. What a fool. This is an absolute misinformation. I tell you what, if you don't like it, the doors are opened. Head on home. Can't even pronounce your name. Ola, what's the win? Fools. We're suffering fools here, guys, for the time being. The Labour Party, congratulations to Helen Ogbu. That's an ancestral Irish name, as you know. It was around at the time of Cuchulainn, as you know. Here we go, boys. Selected in Galway City East this evening. Our 50th candidate selected for LE24. Helen is working hard in the community to build an Ireland that works for all. Not an Ireland for the Irish. How about that? So there you go. You've got 3 individuals here and 1 dude here. Look at the amount of faces that is here. Holy moly. No wonder Galway City now has a high name for boys being Mohammed. What's going on in Galway? Since when did Galway become Little Lagos? Bizarre stuff, guys. And this is who these people are actively selecting, by the way. These people in politics, the politicians and political parties are absolutely enemies. Exclusive. This is the Irish Independent, right? So not just so as we all realise this and we all know this and we all talk about this as we do. No interest and no energy for the kids. So no Gardaí outside the school of what happened to the kids there 2 weeks ago. That didn't happen. So what did they do? What was the reaction? Exclusive. Armed patrols at synagogues, mosques, and around the home of Taoiseach. The Jews actually post this there. That's probably a bad idea. Why would you even let this slip? Like, this is too stupid to be stupid. They're actually trying to piss people off. That's my belief now as well with an awful lot of this, by the way. I think they're actively trying to piss people off as much as possible. Because how could this not absolutely infuriate you? When you think about what happened to the kids, and then you see then, oh, guess what we did, guys? We stuck people outside synagogues. I wasn't even aware that they were here in this country, by the way, lads. And there's been some interesting things that have been said. Richard Boyd Barrett's getting it, particularly online. And I'm like, wait until people find out that his stepdad is Jeremy Irons, the actor. Wait until they find out that. That's big doo-doos for Jeremy Irons. And mosques and the home of the Taoiseach. It's not right for people to connect crime with migration, says Leo Varadkar on Purnell Square stabbings. The statistics have gone out, though. The numbers have gone up, Leo, so that's not really good. That's not a factual statement. So this is the energy that you're seeing. Not to the school. Nah. To these places. Highly interesting, that, isn't it? We live in interesting times, lads. Elon Musk's ex sues US media watchdog in Dublin amid claims of smear campaign. That's glorious. It's great to see these people battling the way they are, because, you know what, here's the thing. People will have questions about Elon Musk, but every time I see things like I see them, and I have had me like suspicions and questions, and I've been like, Then I saw the Twitter files and I was like, okay, all right, let's see what happens now. Then I saw the way he was treated by the ADL and I went, okay, let's see what happens here now. They seem to have come to an impasse. We then see Elon travel to Israel and people are like, nah, that's not good. it's not fantastic. And then you see him come out there and he's not happy. He's actually, it's like they flicked the switch with him and he's even more annoyed. And then you get the video that came out then from the infamous Go Fuck Yourself video. I'll just play it again if I get the chance. I'll get the chance to play it again. I love this video. Absolutely, I'm obsessed with it because it's just directed, if anybody doesn't know, it's particularly directed at Disney Because when he says, hi, Bob, a lot of people have said that that's about Bob Iger. And Bob Iger, when they're talking about these people that are putting money into it, they're trying to influence, this is funny enough, we're talking about the radio station earlier on. They're trying to influence what goes on Twitter. And Elon's like, nah, I don't want any part in any of this sort of stuff there. And they're like, well, we'll just take the money away. And he's like,
go fuck yourself. But go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
Did that play correctly there? I'm just checking that there now. Yeah, it's all good. So, he's saying that then, and he's saying it towards Bob Iger, allegedly, respectively, and that's the head of Disney. So we're at a point in time now where this guy is just after going full on. He's going boom, blammo. We're in here and we ain't taking this anymore. And so now here's the next move. They're calling out Helen McEntee publicly. They're calling out Fine Gael publicly. They're calling out the Irish government, and he himself is calling out the Irish government publicly. It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. The company behind the European operation of X, formerly known as Twitter, is suing a liberal US media watchdog in the High Court in Dublin. We will wait and see what happens there. €127,000 salary needed for average new 3-bed Dublin home. Buyers would need to have combined minimum salary of €127 to buy an average new 3-bed house in the greater Dublin area, while that figure for the northwest is 85,000, according to a new report. This is where we're at. This is what immigration gets you. This is what happens, because it's all supply and demand. Now listen, some people would say, well, look, they're not building enough homes. And if it was the other way around, where there wasn't an awful lot of immigration into this place there, they would still keep churning out homes slowly so they could bring their prices up. I agree with you somewhat. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'll entertain that idea. But they wouldn't be able to do things like this, I don't think. I don't think you'd be going to house viewings where there's 200 and 300 people turning up to them, and that you're looking at them and you're going, there's a family there of people from India or Pakistan, and there's about 15 of them, already walking into that place. You're not going to get it. It's already trouble. Already know it's curtains, because these people are pooling resources together. So unless you're buying a new build, which is extortionate as well too, and they can come with problems also. And then not only that, then when you're buying a new build in areas, what an awful lot of people won't tell you is that there's a percentage of those areas that are given to social housing. So just bear in mind that you're working really hard to pay for this house, and you could legitimately be living beside or living behind or living in front of people who have not done a tap in their lives, like the likes of Joseph Puskett. You know what I'm saying? I think we should be doing what America do, which is you should be putting people into specific areas and going, that's where you're going like that. Now, people would say, well, let's get the wise in places, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't think I will last any longer, admits Irish mum sleeping in tent with son. So this is what's going on as well too to our own people. Cold, tired and running out of hope for a dry, warm bed for Christmas, Charlene Whelan and her 5-year-old son slept in a tent in freezing conditions outside City Hall, Limerick City overnight. How can you not dislike this government? How can you not dislike this media when this is happening to our own people, and you are seeing people be carted into this country and be given free houses? Now, people will say, oh, well, this woman had a problem and she was shouting at people, whatever, that there's been a lot of allegations made about this woman online. I don't know if any of them are true, but the point still remains. How come we can have Chico McCandas in the country walking around? How come we can have people walking into the likes of social welfare offices and verbally abusing people? You have other people as well too saying to them that they're going to wait for them after work. And these people are not of our land. Okay, you're having an issue with a person that's throwing a wobbler like this individual, allegedly again. I don't know whether this happened. This woman might say that's total fake news. That never happened. So this is the current situation. Paddy on the streets, and you've got people that are living in 3-bedroom places, 4-bedroom places that haven't done a tap ever in their lives. That are not of this nation. Now, I know people will have that way of thinking, and there's others that are out there and go, well, Ninja, what if she hasn't done anything at all in her life? I hear what you're saying, but I would sooner rather this woman have a house over her head, particularly with the child, rather than you carting people over to this country from thousands of miles away that have incompatible cultures, histories, and traditions, and shove them then into a house and into housing areas and give them that. No, that's a no from me. So Elon Musk there posted that out. I was talking about him there in the video. I don't know why that done up there 3 times. Toby is up here as well too. So that's him on Twitter, by the way. Toby was talking about him here earlier in the show. So News Talk put this out and they said, while taking an interest in Irish politics and recent news, Elon Musk knows nothing about the country, according to a Wired reporter. David Gilbert told the Anton Savage show, leading Irish far-right figures online have developed close relationships with their counterparts across the pond. They are shitting it with the idea of having connections. And Toby nails it here. The establishment is in meltdown due to Irish people making connections in America. America has a long history of helping Ireland, and long may it continue. Irish lives matter. They are panicking because they know the influence and the power that some people have. I've had people comment on this channel that are from America that are like, big up to you and shout out to you because what you're doing is important. The information's getting out here. Thanks for letting us know. Irish Americans and people that are going, I can't believe this is happening to their country. I can't believe what their government are trying to do. And that just strengthens their thoughts then about their First and Second Amendment. Because they're looking at us going, holy shit. And these are people, and the way Americans look at us, by the way, is they're like, these are people that are known as the fighting Irish. And yet they're looking at their country going down the swanny. You know what I mean? We have this here as well too. This is from Off Grid Ireland podcast there. They put that out. This piece of paper says we're as Irish as you. No, go home. I love that meme. I think that's a great meme. Off Grid Ireland as well too puts this out. Joseph Puskett amount he earns per week. Him, €208. Adult dependent, €138. 5 children under 12, €200. €40 per week. It's €48 if the child is over 12. Add child benefit, €161. €140 per month is it by 5. Per week, this is €161. Total €707 plus HAPA medical cards for all. This is €36,764 per annum net. That's it. Nutshell. Puskett moved to Midlands Prison and is being checked on every 15 minutes. The question I'd ask there is why. Strong men capable of something within their voluntary control are the most gentle men on the planet. This is from 2 days ago. I did a video on that there, Helen McEntee. Germany win 2023 under 17 euro at a glance. Germany. You've got a satirical soldier. Here's a good one. This is a great video. I'll post this out here now. I'll play it there. You listen to him.
Did you ever think that in 2023,
why is that video not working? Hang on there, guys. We'll play it again.
Did you ever think that in 2023, the following things would make you one of the most reprehensible people who ever lived, you know? Or as they prefer to call it, a member of the far right. So if you believe in freedom, which is to say,
slowing down at the minute it is. Hang on, I'll just try and let that buffer for a little bit. We'll come back to that video. I'll come back to that. We'll let that buffer. We'll keep going here. Irish Gardaí are taking science for Leo Varadkar's resignation from peaceful demonstrations. Hang on, we're trying to get the satirical soldier one out because that one's pretty important, that one there, because that's bad news from the Gardaí doing that.
Did you ever think that in 2023, the following things would make you one of the most reprehensible people who ever lived, you know? Or as they prefer to call it, a member of the far right. So if you believe in freedom, which is to say, absence of coercion, you're a member of the far right. If you believe in bodily autonomy, far right. If you think your rights, freedoms and opportunities should not be held hostage until you participate in a medical experiment, you're far right. If you disagree with children being groomed and sexualized, you're far right. If you believe the role of government in a free society is to govern the people and not dictate or rule over them, you're far right. If you believe in sovereignty, you're far right. If you believe that we should have a border that needs to be protected, you guessed it.
So there you go. Nails it. Absolutely nails it yet again. Brilliant stuff. Now let's have a look at this here. This is absolutely shambolic here. Now let's hope this works. I don't know what that's how to do into the clicking into this here. Let's have a look. Yeah, people are saying there no sound on the video. There isn't sound on that video for whatever reason. But that's where we're at there. That's a female guard, by the way, that was doing that. So for anyone that's unsure as to where we're at now at this point in time in the country, this is where we're at. You've got a female guard that is taking umbrage with a Leo out sign. Now, they'll probably use the shitty excuse of, guys, this could incite something. So under Section 8, the Section 8 thing should be abolished in my view. It's been used for way too much of this. It's a public disorder to have these out here, and we could have another riot. Allegedly, speculatively, on all that. But that is it. This is not communist China. That has happened in Ireland, where people, fellas, are standing there with signs, and someone takes umbrage with that, and they're like, and I'll take them signs away. So you have no opinion. You have no ability to have a political dissent. That is wholly negative, and that should be viewed as such. That is absolutely unbelievable. It is. Your right to free speech is being actively taken away in front of our very eyes. This is what they're trying to do. The fact that someone took it upon themselves to walk over and take signs away from lads is shocking. And it's a shocking indictment upon the rest of the people in uniform that they didn't intervene and say, here, leave them alone, stop doing that. It's a big problem. And that's why, as I said earlier on, that's why nobody felt any sort of way. The media haven't tried to gas people up, by the way. They haven't tried to gas people up and make them feel sorry about Gardaí and the pucks that they took 2 weeks ago. They haven't done that. They've tried. They tried initially in the first 72 hours, and then they dropped that ball because they were like, nobody's giving us any bites here when it comes to this. Nobody gives a shit. Because they're all looking and they see incidents like this. They see the water protests. They see the idea of water cannons being used upon people here. They see the people not being sent out to the airport. They see individuals there that are more interested in letting people of unlimited, undocumented, and unvetted natures being brought into our country and shoved into our areas. And them standing out guard outside them there and standing in front of leftists that are facing the people of the likes of East Wall that weren't happy with what went on. They're standing with people behind them that are calling for all these people to be brought into the country. And these people, by the way, that are calling for these people to be brought into the country are potentially going to be victims of these people. And not only are they going to potentially be victims, but everybody now in the country is a potential victim for the policies that these people have upheld. This is where we're at. Ashland Murphy would still be alive had the likes of your man Puska not been let into this country, had he been deported from this country. The same could be said about the two fellas as well, too, in Sligo that I talked about also, with Yusuf Palani. Now, that's to be decided. Again, he's innocent until proven guilty. However, I do think that that's probably not in his favour at this point in time. And these incidents are going to keep happening. And that's why people, when they look at the Gardaí, they go, nah, done. No interest. No sympathy. Because they see videos like this. And this video and videos like this, I showed a video, I think probably about 2 years ago we did, where the female guard, a little Tinkerbell looking individual there, she was 4 foot nothing, had an issue with a fella holding a point, spilled his point everywhere, was trying to wrestle with the chap. Your man was like laughing at her, and then she called in for a backup. Like, this is where diversity is our strength gets us. You have people making stupid decisions out of emotion instead of being sensible and looking at this point of view. And then when Helen McEntee goes anti-women's rights, you can't look at videos like those and other videos and go, seems to be a common denominator there, boys. I mean, look, I put that out there because I was like, lads, we'll finish it off on a funny here tonight. Certain star standing at 3'11" says she would never date a man who's under 6'2". Clown world. We live in clown world, lads. We really do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I know it's a day early. We've had a steady number of over 200 people in here tonight, so we very much so appreciate that. Thanks for jumping in here. I'm going to go through the comments really quickly, for anyone that added in tonight. I'll see you next week. The plan at the moment is to be on Friday at 8 p.m. If I'm not, I'll let you know, which means that it could be on the Thursday. So we will let you know if the days switch up, but I do plan on being in here on the Friday. So thanks to everybody that's joined in here tonight. I'll go through the comments now and I'll say hello to people. We'll go through and see how we're getting on. So thanks again. Thanks very much again to the mods. that are in here. They're in here every time we do a stream. And thank you to everyone that's liking, sharing, subscribing as well too. It really helps out the channel, gets this information out there as well too, lets people know what's going on. Lets you know that you're not alone, which is the most important thing. I like to say that all of the time, that you are not alone when it comes to these things. I used to think that an awful lot along the way, and I said, I don't know. You have 200 people in here tonight. No, I know that not an awful lot of people out here that are listening. There's some people that listen into this and they don't like what I'm doing. And I get that, but I'd say the large majority of people, and it shows in the likes every single week, the likes are always strong, they're always over at 95%, and that shows me and tells me that a lot of people are in here that are watching and listening are agreeing with what's going on and what's been said. Armchair Limerick National says, sound for the stream, Ninja. Thanks very much there, much appreciated. Leanne Cordy says, hi Ninja Night, August Cockdinner. This is a nice prize going live on a Thursday night. Hope you're all well. Absolutely, and hope you're well too. Hope all's good. Let's go through the chat and see what's happening there. Dennis says he's talking about the Bible. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. The Bible, it's biblical, the times that we're saying here now. Jennifer says, hi all, and Ninja, hand pink waving. Fergus Power says, Ninja Night, talking to a friend of mine from Fingers today. He said those scenes were mild today at the post office. Apparently the queues to be out the door and down the road with non-nationals. Absolute disgrace. Fully agree with you, man. Al says, well done, Ninja. Thanks very much. Russian bot number 1 says, Stewie Ninjas, greetings from Wexford. Good to see you in here. Much appreciated. People weren't expecting the stream here on Thursday night. Good evening, also. Sheepdog wasn't expecting Ninja on. I think I said it twice last week. I know I said it at the end of the stream, but maybe people didn't catch it. I might have said it at the start very briefly. People just came in like all of a sudden last week as well, so maybe didn't catch it. Zorowski says, spot on, Ninja. Completely agree. Much appreciated on that one there. Joey Lynch says, evil criminals end up in 2 places, jail or in governments. Good statement. Jen Meehan says, the people in the doll are saying Ireland is too white. WTF. Zoe Gildice, 127,000 per year for an Irish person to afford the house Joseph Puska had. Exactly. When you put it into that context, people are like, yeah, this is where we're at. A fella that didn't do a day of work in his life and come over and did what he did. And then you've got our people then that are struggling. It's unbelievable. And then you have as well 2 good people that are coming in here that are actually adding something to society here. You know, as I said, neurosurgeon, doctors and stuff like that. They are coming from other places and you're going, you know, they're struggling too as well with these things. Hi Ninja, you're doing a great job. I'm from Poland and I wish with all my heart that Irish people will not become a minority in their own country. Keep on doing a good job, Ninja, and all the best. Thanks very much. Welcome in here from Poland as well too. Based Polish people are always welcome. Charm Superior says 50% of council houses in London are all foreign born. First person Ninja Night, the 5 people were Philip, Chopper, Gavin, Derek, and myself. That's what it was. Thanks, Ferg. I knew you were. I didn't give you the shout out. My bad there on that one. It wasn't. You hadn't got the beard in the picture. That's what it was. I was using my mind's eye there to think of the people, and you hadn't got the beard, and it threw me off. It did. You know, the beard looks well, is what I would say. Keep the beard going. Big William Wallace energy on that one there. People be like, William Wallace, he was Scottish. Just joking, guys. Just joking. Big fan of Ninja and all you Patriots Hero content here. Thank you, says B. Thanks a mil. Oh, by the way, as well, too, for anyone out there that hasn't seen the tweet that I made as well, too, keep an eye on what's going on with regards to online. You've got accounts that are being started in October, November, December of this year, and they're saying things, and you're like, is that a Fed boy, allegedly, respectively? Zico says, my wife is an Arab immigrant and she also had a look at the Hate Speech Act and said, WTF, I just left an oppressive country. There you go. Even seeing it there. Adrian says there, free Enoch Bork. Adrian Bourne says, free Enoch Bork. Totally agree with you on that one there. For sure. People are saying that they don't like McGregor. Other people are saying they do. Some people think it's a psyop. I don't think so. I said it beforehand. I was like, I think we need a John Dutton. We need someone with big money, you know. I think we need someone with huge money to be able to take on these people. And look, here's the thing. McGregor is very well linked with Dana White, which a lot of people forget. And because I'm into the UFC, like, I've been seeing what Dana White does and how he does it. He's very much so up for normal conversations. He's up for free speech. He's up, and I mean, even recently there, a big sponsor called him and was like, don't be promoting Donald Trump. And he was like, I thought them to go and fuck themselves. And like, real same sort of energy as Elon Musk. And I was like, the fact that Dana White said that publicly as well too is super important, because that just sends a message and sends waves about the world when people go, Dana White's not afraid to say that, so neither will I be. It's real important stuff, you know what I mean? Because that's why I think, again, the fact that McGregor is so close with Dana White, the reason why I'm saying that is I think you probably adopt the same attitudes, and I'm sure when it comes to politics and that, Dana White probably would chat to him and say, look, this is the way to go about it, you know? So I think it'd be a good idea. Again, like I said, would you prefer him, or would you prefer Enda Kenny, Bertie Ahern, Jerry Adams? I know who I chose. Dodgy's in here and he's giving all sorts of stuff as well too. Would you all agree that all the Ukrainians had to be sent home? My argument is that we're not in NATO. We should have nothing to do with wars, no peacekeeping or humanitarian aid. We shouldn't have accepted them in the first place. The fact that they passed over so many countries, and countries that are kind of like theirs, particularly in Eastern Europe, and then they came here, that shouldn't have been happening. That shouldn't have been happening at all. And I think that about anyone else that rocks up here. Like the fact that you're coming from the continent of Africa and you're flying over so many places to come here, that shouldn't be happening either. And if you're coming from like a place with the likes of the religion peace, how come you're not moving into any of these other places that are like yours? Instead, you're coming to here and you're trying to change what it is here. It just makes no sense. Let's keep going. Frank's Power tonight. Henry Mankey Gee is done. Norman Foley is done. Ivan Batshit is done. They're all done in the Frocks Brigade, and all we soy boys all done. Aaron Gabra. Totally agree with you, mate. Totally agree. You need to be running in an election, though. That's for sure. The grip media of TD's claim of white privilege was shocking and cringe. I know, yeah, there's nothing worse. Sure, there's not. Absolutely nothing worse. The fact that they're standing up and you're like, they don't believe in iota of what they're saying there either. Not one word. Flying through the comments here tonight. Sheepdog says it'd be nice to hear. I will be nice to her as she was anointed, appointed, but without qualification. She's in a position beyond her station. Ninja Knight says, yo, good rhyming there. But yeah, no, like a part of that as well too. I'm sure the people have made it like, yikes. But it's very difficult to get these people out once they get in. I mean, look how long they have Raggers in government, Micheál Martin as well too. Very difficult. Look at Regina Doherty, by the way. Regina Doherty, like, hey guys, we're going to send her over to Europe. She's failed forward. I put her on the post. She was posting out and she was talking about it, and she was saying, oh yeah, I'm proud to be nominated for this. And I'm like, this person is the only person I know that's failing forward here in these things. How? Like, how have they not totally distanced themselves from it? The same as well too with Hazel Chew. You're like, how have these people fell forward into these positions? Unbelievable, really is. Saints and Scholars is in here as well too. Good to see you here. It's all a big club and you're not in it. Words of Gerald Salente. Speaking facts. Absolute facts. Eddie Green says the Brazilian has collected the 300,000. Apparently, the public paying for his acting, and he protected the assailant. Dodgy says unrelated, but I just saw an unmarked guard do a fella for a running a red light. Happens here in Kilkenny thousands of times a day. If they got off their bums, the roads might be a bit safer. I see as well too that the lads were shared now. Jessica Dunn was on another thing. I was like, oh, here, this person keeps getting around. Frank's Power says 221 in the chat, 45 likes. Hit the like button, people. Have to bounce. I'll catch up later. Ninja Night. Good night and God bless, bro, and everyone here. See you all down the road. Stay positive, Aaron Gabra. Much appreciated, man. Great to see you in here. Absolute legend. Great to see you here. Always great to see you, Fergan. Let's keep going and let's see what's happening. The Seeker says dogs can be horses. Bigot. Once they're born in the barn. Hazel Chew being called Hazel Chewbacca. That's offensive to Chewbacca. Chewbacca was sound. A lot of people chatting away there now in the chat about what the picture I was showing. Johanna Thornfelt is in here. Says, hi Ninja and all. Good to see you in here. You're listening in from Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Sure, this is early for you, an early time. Sheepdog says, make me angry to see Ninja Night. Not good for me, blood pressure. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, look, sometimes as well, you got to look and go, take a breath, you know. And the most effective thing you can do is tell other people, go, look at this. Look what's going on. People all in unanimous agreement that the women in the three women in the picture are not attractive whatsoever. People talking about the National Party as well too, and their Irish Freedom Party. Let's keep going. Ninja Knight says, Endline Job says, Ninja Knight baseball caps the slow militarization look of the Gardaí. I don't get a military feel off the two people they pictured out, but I tell you what, when Abdul is standing in the uniform, be interesting to see. I always be singing, says, what I want to know is when are the Gardaí going to wake up from their fog? They already dislike Drew. They know all this is wrong. This is why they don't back the police in the States. The thing is the Gardaí here now have far too many times just decided to side with nonsense instead of just going, no. You know what I mean? Collectively just together going, no, not going to do that. The point man says we'll have to watch from the start late to the party ninja at Thursday night, sly dog. I can't believe people are saying that. I'm like, I told people last week, I was like, listen, Thursday night looks like a likely situation, likely scenario. And yet people are in here abusing me. You can't do right for doing wrong. You really can't. It's unbelievable. The chat here roasting me for being here on Thursday. I'm actually a day early. Point man, if you want to get into it, right? I'm actually a day early. People say to me I'm late all the time. I'm a day early. That's where I'm going with this one. Oh, stop. Some stuff there as well too. People talking about turf. Yeah. Fair play to you. People talking about Eamon Ryan there in the chat as well too. What's he up to? Ah, stop. Madman. Karen Bourne says, swinging knives is a bad habit. Ask him for a friend. Not a good one, is what I'd say. Not a positive one, especially when you're doing it out and about. And yourself. Letitia Logan's in here as well too. Good to see her here. Billy the Kid says, you don't have to go home, but you can stay here. My thing is, make it a stop, not a stay. Westman says, zero tolerance for traitors and sellouts. Saint and Scholar says, don't pay your TV license, you go to court, don't deport yourself, you get citizenship. Yeah, nail on the head there. Nail on the head. Richard McCabe's in here as well too. Good to see you here, man. Derek McManus, I don't know if we're seeing Derek in the chat now already, but if I haven't, shout out to Derek McManus. He'll probably be in tomorrow. Be like, oh, you didn't let me know. It was on tonight. Sat says, Ninja, you need to do a podcast with likes of Philip, Herman, Justin, and others. Get your subs up. People need to hear an alternative view, even if it is hate speech. I did streams with Justin, with Philip before. Definitely open to that. I'm going to be in touch with a couple of them. I'm going to be in touch with a couple of people and seeing if they're interested in doing a stream over the next while. Be Satirga Soldier, Philip, as you mentioned as well. Mick O'Keefe, Toby as well. I'd like to get them on stream, whether it be individually or whether it be all together. I think maybe individually might be a good idea because it gives them the floor then and lets them chat away then and, you know, tell us about their experiences and stuff like that. Whereas, like, when you have, say, 5 or 6 people in, I find that it is difficult to moderate for sure. Whereas if it's one person, it's really, really well done. I always think, Philip comes across excellent in anything that he does. But particularly when he done a stream there with Reverend Simon Sideways there, Philip was excellent again, and you know what I mean. It's great to see it. And Satirga Soldier the same as well too. He's a funny character, so I'm sure he'd be interested. Now, Irish Git is another one as well too that I'd love to get on, have a chat with as well too on here. That'd be another good one. And Derek Bloig be another good one as well too, obviously as well. And Ferg would be another one. That'd be another great person to get on and have a chat with as well. Do you know what I mean? Gavin Pepper be another one. Like, there's so many people that are there now, whereas, like, that's the thing, you know, there's names that are just popping up and people are getting a big following from things, and it's great to see. I love to see it, and that they're moving on and they're gaining the support, you know what I mean? So I think that's a big positive. Really do. And I think that that's a good idea. And something I'm definitely going to look into. I'm definitely going to look into getting a stream going with the lads for sure. Let's keep going here. They all know the crack as well, too, when it comes to being on YouTube. They know the story, you know. They really do. They're like, you know, when you're coming on to a platform like this, you know the ways of speaking on the platforms like this, they get the story, you know. Armchair Limerick National says, is it true Keith Woods is going to be in GTA 6? Maybe if he makes a character himself, I don't know. People are talking about McGregor calling for severe lockdowns. I hear you on that one, Ellie. I do. I hear you on that one as well too. But I think a lot of people were caught at the time. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt on that one and say that you got caught up in that. But I don't know if anybody else is. I know that. Listen, I'm the same as well too. With some people, I'd say, well, I wouldn't be interested in that, and I would love to see a follow up, like of him saying that was all a scam there. Do you know what I mean? But now, in saying that he did, in a way, when he came out and was like, "What story is this? You can't open a gym, but you can stand in the pub and you can buy a €9 meal." He did say all those things at the time, so don't forget he was calling out that nonsense as well as it was moving on. So I think a lot of people like to hone in on the whole situation in that video and forget about what he did afterwards, So I think that's important to realise and remember. Arnold the Saxon says, thank you, Ninja Knight. Much appreciated. Much appreciated indeed. Zorowski says, cheers, Ninja. God bless and good night all. Thank you very much. Westman says, good, I missed this show. Forgot Ninja was streaming on Thursday this week. Thanks. At least you didn't abuse me. Other people here did. They were like, oh. It's all love. It's all love. Scandalous Dog says, Ninja Knight, thanks, Dale. Great stream, mate. Thanks a million. Sivna Isan says, hi, Ninja. I had a dream that your whole YouTube channel got deleted because you told the truth about this country. Probably won't be long, to be fair. It'll probably be at some stage, but I am on Rumble. Ninja Knight says, Humans 8 says, Ninja Knight, we are all so far right that we are a day early on the live stream this week. Chuck Wagner says, Ninja Knight, I got unsubbed from you a few minutes ago. You're not liked on here. Listen, I know what's going on here on this platform. I really do. The thing is, I'll just put that up now. I'll stick that comment up because that'll let people know. I'm not shocked to see that, okay? And the reason why I'm not shocked to see that comment and that happening is because it has been a stretch to get to 6,000 subscribers. And it's been a stretch even now as well too. I think I've gotten to about 6,400 at this moment in time. There's definitely stifling going on. Listen, I have videos, and I'll say even about the last couple of days. Like, I have videos there with the Elon Musk one's at 600 likes. That's more likes than most of the political parties are getting their videos. You've got the one that I did, Irish Hero, that has 14,000 views and it has 1,200 likes. There's cinema companies, or not cinema companies, there's actual entertainment companies that are not getting those views, but are not getting those likes either. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're getting pushed in heavily. I know what it is. I know that since that Irish Hero silence video, that's where there was a massive uptick. I can see it here even from the views, just looking at it here. And then since then as well too, the views have started to crater then towards 2,500. Now that could be, listen, I'm open. And I'll say, well, that could be because the videos aren't interesting and people don't like them or there's something in it that they don't like. That's fine. But to go from 14,000 back down to the norm, the average, which was 2.5, but still get 500 and 400 and 600 likes, that's dodgy. That's dodgy. And to get 14,000 views in the video and not surpass 7,000 subscribers is highly unusual considering you've gotten 1,200 likes. Do you know what I'm saying? I know what it's about. I all know. Sheepdog says you have to invite the left in and United. They seem to be all known. No point giving them people any airtime at all, is what I'd say. I always be singing, says, hey, Ninja Knight, brilliant. So obviously, I reckon Conor might be what Trump was for the US. Maybe. The only thing I think about Trump, though, and look, the way I look at things is this, I think all of these people are on the same team. And I think it's very difficult to see someone that's genuine. But what I will say is that I think Conor McGregor has the potential to be genuine. I think he has the potential to be something that is totally different from the rest. And I would say that that's a positive. And I think he would give us some interesting times. I think he would give us some interesting leadership. And I also think as well, too, it could be something that could totally throw the apparatus. I mean, the apparatus are really happy with an now retiree sitting up in Oris on route they're on that has an awful lot of allegations that have been levelled on him over the years. They're happy for him to be sitting there. The last thing they want is a mouthy fella that's in his 30s. That's the last thing they want. So for just the shits and giggles, I'd be like, yeah, I'd vote for him just to see what happened. You know what I mean? Just for the entertainment factor of it. So yeah, I probably would say, yeah, in a way, maybe a Trump-like appointment. But then it would be to wait and see then how things shake out, And it's like even the whole thing with Trump. I'm amazed, and I still am, that things have shook out in America the way they have. It's 4 years now, and there's nothing been done in terms of holding anyone accountable for what went on then. They're actively talking about not letting them win again. So I'm just curious to see if America will sit beside it for another 4 years. That's an interesting thing. And whatever happens in America makes its way over here. But I do think that there's a big change happening across the world, and I think the more popular side of things are people that are nationalists at this moment. So it will be interesting to see. Mike Egan says, "Good night, Ninja. Thanks for a good stream. Good night, everyone." Hand pink waving, much appreciated there. DLB 95 or DLB says, "Was on the bus on the way just now at 10 p.m. There's a poster for Irish Cancer Society, and I had 3 people on it, white and black person, and one with a hijab. Yeah, and it's like these people make up less than 10%. It's weird, but that's it. They're trying to play it on." Erda only B1014 says they are all doctors, lawyers, and neurosurgeons. That's the media's favorite card. Yeah, engineers. You left out engineers on that one. Engineers, another one. Are you an engineer? Yeah, for sure. But what I'm talking about is when you're vetting someone that they actually have those credentials. You know what I mean? Not that you're just letting people in willy-nilly, but to check that they have the credentials. Now, Marco says, "This is it. There's always good new people, but there's open borders, no scrutiny of background. Females are threatened." For sure. Saint Scott says, "We love you, NK. God bless our land and our fine folks." Thank you. Much appreciated. Always be singing, says Dane is a sound guy. Yeah, Jim 140 says Dana was on the ball with Fight Island, only sport on Jordan the scam. And look, I mean, there's another part of me that's like, yeah, I agree with you there. And he did throw like kind of caution to the wind with that and said, "No, we're doing our own thing." But at the same time, don't forget about the Roman Empire. We always get back to the Roman Empire. Breads and circuses keep people happy, you know. Karen Bourne says, "Friday night you will have even more in the future." Thanks, Ninja. Great show. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. A lot of positivity here. A lot of positivity here, which is great. It's times are changing. They really are changing, and I think even like looking at the people that are coming in, the amount of people that are coming in listening in, it's crazy. It really is. Anto Boyle fans in this space, people are saying. That's interesting. Anto Boyle be another good one as well to have on to have a chat with. The way he does things. "Hi guys, Anto Boyle here. It's 8:15 a.m. in Dublin City Centre." I like the way he does it. I just like every time, the time, the date, love it. Great, you know. Interesting stuff there now. Let's keep going here. Now, Ellie, like I see what you're saying there, but you know what I mean. I don't know who Alistair Williams is or anything like that, but the point is that since then he made tweets. A lot of people aren't highlighting that. And I was saying that earlier on. Jared Salente is such a great man, says Karen Bourne. Yeah, the old boy put me onto him there. John Brown says 17 likes and over 170. Or there's some great national activists, streamers, and content creators. Definitely. And I mean, like, you can't forget like the likes of the OJs, like the likes of GT and Dave Cullen as well, too. Two very important people. The Irish Inquiry, big shout out to them as well, too. They do a great job with what they do. They are absolutely brilliant. Boots on the ground. Awesome. Let's keep going. People are saying that Oliver Cromwell was far superior to what we currently have running the show. Listen, Oliver Cromwell wasn't as bad as the people that are running the show quite now, and that's a massive comment because people will be like, "Wow, that's how little you view these people." Yup. Richard McKevitt here says, "Thanks, Ninja, for your usual great job, and thanks for the chat for being great." Karen Bourne says, "Ninja, you're day early, and you have filled us in over that last 2 weeks. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thanks again." Scandalous Dog says, "The machine is aligned against you." Oh, for sure. Listen, I'm by no way am I thinking that this isn't the case. I know what it's about. I mean, it was like when Philip's channel went as well too. There was no reason for that channel to go, and still they did that, you know. But he's over on Twitter. Johnny Boy says, "I'm a big watcher of American politics. You all should follow it too. Our establishment does what Democrats do. That's why ours ate all Trump derangement syndrome." Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Era only B1014 says, "Ninja Night, Red Pill, MMA, good Irish channel on the rise." Is that nothing but ripping? Did he rebrand? I think he did. If I'm not sure, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's nothing but ripping. I think he rebranded there, yeah. Let's keep going there. It says, SGD says, "Exactly, people should be tuning into GT on Mondays at 8 p.m. I'd agree with you on that one as well too. The more you get in and you see these things in different points of view, GT will have different points of view to me, I'm sure. Others will have different points of view, and that's the thing. You're hearing different ideas and different thinking points. Like, as I said before, the way GT thinks about certain things, sometimes I'm like, I didn't think about it like that, or that's a very astute point, and I'm like, take that and I'll go with that then, and I'll say that, because I'm like, well, I agree with that point, It's better than what you're getting on RTE. Guess what, guys? The weather is it's totally bad, and it's not good for you to come outside. Like, what? Nonsense. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, MBR people are saying that as well too there at the end there. Nice one there. Much appreciated, guys. Right, guys, I'm going to tune out here. I'll see you next week. If it's not on, I'll keep you informed to let you know whether it's going to be Thursday or whether it's going to be Friday. We've clocked in 2.5 hours here tonight. Got through the chat there as well too. Thanks very much to everybody that's in here. I'll see you next week. Look after yourselves. Good luck.